What's going on? Webcam. Where you at? Hang on. One moment. What's going on here? Hey, Chad. What's up, man? Sorry, guys. 1 second. I'm trying to fix my webcam. I don't know why it's off. Deactivate. Reactivate. Nope. Oh, something else. 1 second. Okay. Well, it's definitely working. Okay. That was weird. That was very weird. Alright, cool. Sorry about that. What's going on, Chad? Welcome to the stream, buddy. And everybody else that's in the stream, welcome. It's kind of a follow-up stream to earlier. I mean, we don't particularly have a whole lot to talk about, but we can still harp off that good news that we have from earlier today. Very good news. If anyone missed it, feel free to let me know in the chat. Not sure exactly all who we have here, but I'll be more than happy to go over it again. Looking at the price action right at this moment for Dogecoin, we are looking great. Great. Smart thing would have... Okay, so just picking up kind of where we left off. Sorry. Hello. Okay. Just picking up kind of where we left off. When we cut the stream, we were on this first move to 38, pulling back. And the thought process was that we would probably pull back, dip here, but then continue. The only thing is 38 cents has been a very, very... Oh, I don't have light. Whoa. Hey, Gilbert, what's going on? Gilbert checking in. Welcome to the stream. Welcome back. Yeah, earlier we left off at about 38.40, and the only thing there was that... music's probably loud as well. I mean, we rejected there. And 38 cents on Doge has been a key level of resistance for a while. If you kind of go back, take a look back, you can see how much messing around we've had at 40 cents. We've struggled there in that general area multiple times. And usually if we're under it, we don't quite make it up to 40 cents. If we do, we reject pretty hard off of it. Nothing new. And sure enough, that's where we ended up. So we did reject off 38 twice. Once we made that double top here, everybody took that as a bearish sign, especially after the sell-off. Everybody just took profit, and now we're just kind of grinding our way back up. So that's where we're at. On the AMC side, just because why not look at both? AMC is actually still holding really well. Took off from this bear flag, this bull flag that was forming earlier. That at first looked a little weak, but it pulled it together. Took off, did another pullback here, took off again, almost went to 40 bucks. 40 bucks before it pulled back, and now it's just been hanging out at about 37.69. Interesting. Now there's no trading. There's really no exchanges that are trading during this particular hour. But once we get back online, I know 4 a.m. Webull is when the charts will start working again for AMC. We can see where we're at. Let's just check trading view, make sure we're not missing any useful data there. $37.04 according to well, that stopped a little early actually, so maybe that's not even correct. Yeah, that stopped a little early. Weebull's the goat, the chart goat. What I want to kind of try and get into tonight is maybe some Shiba. Maybe some, whoa, Shiba price. Okay, it's still at a discount. I would not mind getting into some Shiba just a little bit before the price goes up with Shiba Swap exchange. If nothing else brings value to the Shiba ecosystem, it might be Shiba Swap. And in my opinion, even if the coin is pretty much useless, that will probably bring some usefulness to the coin. Some value, even if it's not a lot. So I'd like to get just a couple coins before the price goes somewhere I'm not willing to pay, because once again, it is pretty useless at the end of the day. Let me get my Coinbase Pro up. Hang on. I'm excited. Hope everybody's having a good night tonight. USD deposits are now instant. Instant deposits are now available on Coinbase Pro. Transfer funds from your bank account and trade instantly without having to wait. Ooh. Hey, what's going on, Michael? Welcome to the stream, man. We're just catching up. We just took a look at the chart. Sorry if I'm talking loud. Maybe I should take your earbud out. We're just catching up on what's been going on the Doge side, the AMC side, and then we're just going to get into a couple other things here. I want to check on Shiba. I want to see what Coinbase Pro is all about, and maybe even talk about some other altcoins while Doge decides if it wants to fully do this cup and handle pattern. It's looking good. Just jumped on to give a like. Not sure how long you'll be here. Family coming in the AM for your daughter's graduation. Awesome. Well, congrats to your daughter. Oh, Skydive. I thought it was still Michael, the same color logo. And it started with the M. Congrats to your daughter. It's awesome. But hey, yeah, I definitely appreciate you hanging out. And there's no worries either, because I mean, there's not a whole lot going on right now. Basically, to address what I just said and answer Michael's question at the same time, Doge, I mean, when we left off, Doge was doing this 38 move right here. There's just a really high chance of Doge stopping at 38 cents. We know, I mean, we've been looking at these charts for a long time now. We know how the price action tends to react within the last 2 cents of a 10-cent move. So, you know, 38 through 40, 48 through 50, 58 through 60. Those last 2 cents tend to be like the resistance window. Somewhere in that area, it's going to stop. And sure enough, stopped 38 383, 38.3, pulled back, tried one more time, stopped pretty much in the same spot. At that point, it formed a double top, which is usually a bearish pattern, shows resistance that cannot be broken through. You try once, you fail, try, get to the same spot, break no new ground, fail again. That sparked people selling off, realizing that was probably the top for now and we weren't going to get much further. Especially when you do a deep pullback like that and you work all the way back up and you go to the same exact spot. That's usually a sign to people that we're not strong enough to do what we need to do. So people took profit. We saw a sell off all the way down to 35. Props to anyone that managed to sell at 38 and then buy back at 35, but really it was only a 3-cent scalp, so probably not even worth it. And then we got this inverse head and shoulders here, sign of a reversal. And now we've been moving up ever since. Higher lows, higher highs. On the way up, still making good ground. Next move will probably be something like this if it just continues. You know, we'll see. But at this rate of speed, we're curling up nicely here. Can potentially get back up here, maybe do a little pullback and take off from 38 to head towards 40. Now there is the chance that we get back up there to like 38. People just take profit again, and then we kind of cool off until the morning, until tomorrow, and maybe then we see a run to like 40 cents, 42 cents. We'll see. Even if we don't have much more of a crazy run up beyond 40 cents, 42 cents is really honestly great. I mean, we should be happy about that. We've been sitting in 20, so that's a big move. But even if we don't get much further than that tomorrow, and then on Thursday we end up selling off a bit, don't forget we still have every day after Coinbase Pro goes live, where we'll be seeing an increase in buying volume due to having that new large exchange with Doge available to purchase. Hey Bryce, what's going on, man? Mark, can you tell me how Sea Rocket is doing? The heck is Sea Rocket, dude? I'll tell you how Sea Rocket's doing if you let me know what Sea Rocket is. But yeah, that's where we're at. On the AMC side, AMC's actually still killing it. AMC still killing it. Managed to do that bull flag we saw, take off, pull back to 37, move a whole nother $2, and it only pulled back about a little less than $2. And that's where it stopped. It won't show if I say what it is. See you. Bro. I don't even know what you're talking about, man. Talking about Shiba? Doesn't sound like it. Yeah, so it's holding pretty nice here at like above 37 bucks. So tomorrow, I mean, we might, if it doesn't sell off super hard and it holds and market opens with the price still up here, AMC could be looking at $50 tomorrow. I'm not kidding. A lot of potential there. That'd be a crazy move. I am here to watch it. You just send a link to its coin market cap? Okay. Holding on to my coins, knowing the best is yet to come. I'm enjoying the ride. Me too, man. Advantage, what's going on, bro? Welcome to the stream. All the homies piling in. Good stuff. Yeah, Gilbert, I like that play. I am resisting the urge to scalp and just enjoying the ride. It has been a while since I've seen plus something on my Robinhood, so I'm really happy. I'll hold on for a little bit. Thing is, we were patient. Pretty much all of us here got good averages, so we're chilling, man. We're chilling. Hey, Trill Sensei, what's going on, bro? Hey, what's up, bro? We're in a monthly bull trend. I'm thinking, P.S. You gonna update your YouTube name 2021 Tech Official? Let me explain where that channel name came from first. That might help answer the question. So, back when I made this YouTube channel, it was probably 2015, maybe 2016. It's not a new channel. I made it obviously as a tech review channel. There was a couple reasons I went with 2020. One, at the time, 2020 was looked to as a year in the future, where all these concept cars, if you ever looked like 2020 Dodge Challenger or 2020 Camaro or 2020 whatever, at that time there was these like super futuristic concept cars that they would make for the year 2020. 2020 was supposed to be some crazy, futuristic year. All 2020 for some reason. So that was part of it. It was just like looking forward into the future. 2020 technology, Another reason was 2020 like vision, like having clear insight into tech, being able to understand it. So 20/20. And helping people gain insight into tech with my like knowledge. So there was multiple reasons for it. Then 2020 actually hit. And this YouTube channel's name has not aged well, you could say. Even though it had two meanings, everyone sees 2020, they're like, one, it's no longer 2020, it's 2021. Two, 2020 was the worst year that we can think of in recent history. So, will I make it 2021? No, because it wasn't just supposed to be the year. It was a specific year in the future, which is no longer in the future. And two, there was a secondary reason that had nothing to do with the year, which was actually the primary reason. If you look at my old YouTube logo, it was actually like a red eye, and it said 2020 with a slash down it. Then also, so if I change the name, it'll have nothing to do with the year. But I am considering changing the name, but I don't know. It's the channel name. I've changed the name before because I was like, I don't want to just review tech. I want to review like everything. I just want to be a general reviewer. I can look at things and analyze them really well, whether it's technology, whether it's vehicles, And so then I changed the name to 5-star reviews to be super generic, but then I just didn't like it, and so I changed it back. So if you go to some of my tech videos, you'll see the evolution. It was 2020, and then it was 5-star, and then it's 2020 again. So if I'm going to change it again, I don't even know if I would. I try not to get too wrapped up in the channel name anymore. Just say, what's up, it's Mariano. Welcome to my YouTube channel, kind of thing. That makes sense. Yeah. It was pretty deep at the time, but it just hasn't aged super well, that's all. Plus, I got my 2020 back there, man. I'm invested. Got a couple shirts. What's going on, Stankus? Welcome back to the stream, brother. A pantry. Your AMC prediction tomorrow? 45 to 50 bucks. 45 to 50 bucks AMC is very easy to do, as long as it doesn't sell off tomorrow. I heard they actually did a stock offering. Okay, so I was just watching. I don't know if you guys watch Graham Stephan, Andre Jick, however you pronounce his name, or Meet Kevin, or Jeremy, whatever his YouTube channel's name is. But they do this thing called Millennial Money. I encourage you to, if you're into finance at all, whether it's cryptos or stocks or real estate, if you're into any of that, Graham Stephan, Meet Kevin, at least, they're really good at that stuff. And they do this thing called Millennial Money, where they have like this podcast where all four of them do like a video call together, and they go over stocks, they go over cryptos, all kinds of stuff. Millennial Money. Check out the YouTube channel. It's pretty good. If I'm not streaming or something, you want something long to watch, it's like usually an hour and a half. Hey, what's up, Alaric? Anyway, the point of me saying that is, on the last episode, they just started talking about AMC. And supposedly, so if there was this article going around on Twitter that some guy that's part of some firm was issued or offered from AMC like 8 million shares of AMC or something today. And they basically bought the shares, like the offering, they took it and then they sold today. So it was like good news, and then they just dumped the shares at a couple dollars profit. Really weird. Let me find that really quick. Yeah, so they raised 200 and they basically did a low-key stock. Yeah, Mudrick, exactly. But they basically did a stock offering, but like did it very discreetly. And what the guys in Millennial Money were saying is they think because the CEO of AMC is super like on board with this whole like apes diamond hand together never sell movement for AMC. Like he follows the some of the groups, kind of like how Elon's in with Doge. AMC CEO's in with this whole move to go to moon AMC, and it, obviously why wouldn't he be? It's great for him. But they were saying that they think that he didn't want to do a stock offering to raise money because it would seem like he was going against the whole group, like betraying them. Because when you do a stock offering, it's very bad for the shareholders because you dilute the stock. You're basically you're dividing shares. You're diluting the value of people's shares by just making more shares of your company. And so, he instead created and sold 8.5 million shares to Mudrick, to one person. But then Mudrick took the shares and instantly dumped them at a couple dollars profit. So they think that was the whole plan between them all along, was like he didn't want to have to make this announcement about doing a stock offering, so they just sold to the one guy, and then the one guy dumped them into the market. So it was like a undercover stock offering, so as not to cause unrest. But basically that's pretty bad news for AMC, but it doesn't look like the price moved. So because it was so low key, I don't think anybody cared. So maybe mission accomplished, but I don't know, just a little something to keep in mind. They just diluted the shares with 8.5 million more shares of AMC, but we're still moving up, so it's all that matters, I guess. Usually on any kind of stock offering, the price of a stock will absolutely tank because that's bad. It's like if I buy a large pizza and it's in 8 slices, cut into 8 slices, and I'm like, all of you guys will get a slice, don't worry. All right, but then someone comes around, I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to give them pizza too. And so I just cut everybody's slices and make some more. And I'm like, yeah, you're still getting 8 slices, but now they're just half as thin, The value of what I was offering you suddenly is not the same. So you guys get screwed over. But that's basically how stock offerings work. Didn't show when I first said it was... I'm missing comments here. That makes sense, yep. My AMC prediction tomorrow is still 45 to $50. Here's why. AMC already in after hours kind of squoze up to $39.40 and did a small pullback before kind of all exchanges closed here. It'll be something definitely keep an eye on first thing in the morning at like I paused the music at like 4 a.m. on Webull when the exchange opens and you can take a look at price movement again. Because if it doesn't sell off before market open and it holds anywhere above $35 and it doesn't dump at the bell, I think there's going to be a massive move up tomorrow. Keep in mind, today was kind of just like a consolidation. It's like we did this move up, then after hours and pre-market did this move up, pulled back, bell rang, huge squeeze up, sell off, consolidation, after hours, pre-market, move up, consolidation, after hours, move up. Then there's probably going to be some consolidation. And then opening bell is usually where it seems, if you just look at the history of each time it's made a crazy move up, it's been at open. Here, right at open, here. All the moves happen early. So at the opening bell within the first hour, just keep a close eye on it, see what's happening. If it doesn't dump and it starts to go up, I think we can easily see. Ooh, Doge just doing a W here. It's probably going to keep going up pretty nicely. Yeah, I think we can see 45 to 50 tomorrow, AMC. If not, they'll probably go 20s. Either or. Risky stuff. Let's see. Could you mark up the chart for a potential buy scalp entry? You mean on Doge or on AMC? I just want to make sure. I assume you're talking AMC. Just because you're saying scalp. Hey, what's up, Alaric? Guys and gals, yes. Logic, yep. You hit the like button already? Did the rest of the room? Doge is up today. Haters are having a bad day. Absolutely, they sure are. What did they say on the future squeeze? They said $50. They basically mirrored my sentiments. So $50, pretty reasonable. $100 getting a little unreasonable, and everything beyond that's pretty much impossible. That's what they pretty much said, and that's how I feel. $50, you know, at this rate, sure, but the more you go above that, I mean, it gets to the like why portion. I'm sure if you do a whole bunch of calculations on all the different potential squeezes and short, you know, all that, sure, you know. I'm not super into squeezes, so I really don't do too much research into like, well, what's the potential this stock could go to? Will it, if we get the theta and the beta squeeze, will it go to $1,000? I'm not into all that. I just look at what is this company, where's its all-time highs been in the past, why is it going up now? And if it's just a short squeeze, then I just proceed with caution, play it by ear. Or I just sit out. You bought in at 29 and 32 cents. Nice. My average is 33. Advantage. My average is 33. I'm in at 33. Pump, pump, pump. Yes, yes, yes. Bitcoin or Doge? Absolutely Doge. Bitcoin is not having a good time right now. I would not touch Bitcoin with a stick. Doge all day. Doge or AMC in my opinion. AMC if you want to risk some money, get a little gamble going. Doge if you want to do a more reasonable move that is low risk and high potential profit. Only thing with Doge, obviously you'll have to buy a lot of shares to really capitalize, but I would, well, the thing is it's a little late on the Doge side as well. Now we're at an awkward price to buy in. Anything long term under 30 cents though is under 40 cents is a dip, like I always say. But buying in at 37 at this moment would feel kind of bad. Here's the thing though. We don't know how much further than 40 cents if that Doge is really going to go. So if I'm trying to outline a scalp play, it's kind of already too late. Like for me to outline a good scalp play, it's a little too late. If you were to enter now, I mean, it's a 50-50 shot. It goes up or down short term. And then it's like, okay, and then what? If it goes up, I mean, you could probably scalp 1.5 cents up to 39, but it's probably going to reject 39 to 40 cents and then come back down. So it's just a very awkward place to start trying to scalp on Doge. It's up there already. If you look at the highs, there's the high here, double top, massive rejection. Now it's curling back up. It's about to hit that high again. It'll probably get to that high, pull back, or just continue through and then get stuck at 39.40. So it's just a little high, man. Ideally, I can do text. What? I didn't know that. I can't do text size though. Okay, that's kind of lame. Oh yeah, that's actually lame. Never mind. Ideally, you would buy in as close to 33 cents as possible, really as close to 30 cents as possible, but that ship has kind of sailed. So if you get a pullback really anywhere to here in the near future, I mean, you can buy that up, and I mean, there's low downside. Worst case scenario would probably go back down to like 31 cents, probably not even 30. Not with that news we just got. Look for a dip somewhere in here and then try and sell it somewhere within, just depending on how greedy you want to be, somewhere within this window. It's probably the easiest scalp to get off. But that's banking on a pullback here. We don't know what's really going to happen. Reason I say that, this is kind of the area of value. This is probably the highest I would buy in at without feeling uncomfortable. Anywhere from 33 to maybe 34 cents. Anything over 34 cents, I start getting a little uneasy because I'm halfway in the 30s. You never really want to be at that halfway mark. It's too much downside. And then also, we know that Dogecoin in particular loves to treat resistance as a window and not a particular level. So yeah, we think 40 cents is the level, but typically that means that resistance will be anywhere from like 38 to 40. And you see here, that's what we hit, 38.5. Happens all the time. So anywhere from here, if you're trying to play it safer, just get a couple cents, guarantee you get a sell-off. At the highest, we probably don't really go above 420. You know why? For meme value, 42 cents is a very strong level, just like 69 cents is as well. So anywhere in here, sir. It's about the best I can do at this awkward time that we're in right now, as far as where we're at price-wise. So wish I could give you a better setup, but there really is none. Yeah, it was really just like buy earlier today, or buy here. That ship is also sale. Yeah, it was like honestly buy here, right? But if you missed the move up, you could have bought here, and then one last chance kind of to buy it like 35. But now, the ship has just kind of sailed a bit. Doge will outpace Bitcoin and have $1 trillion market cap in 3 years' time. Jared, I like the way you think. That is extremely ambitious, but I like the way you think. That means Doge will be, with current supply, somewhere around $7.50 per. That would get us to about $1 trillion market cap. So, hey, I'm on board, but that's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take Doge being a little more than Doge is today. That's exactly what that would take price-wise. In case you don't know, all you have to do is multiply coin supply, total circulating supply of the coin. So we have this many Doge out there in the world, in the wild, times price to get market cap. Now, I know when I did the math before, when Bitcoin was about 900 billion, it was $7.21 per Doge would have gotten us to Bitcoin's market cap at 900 billion. That's why I guessed about 750 to get us to $1 trillion, but maybe I was a little short. So let's find out. Let's do some quick maths. Times 750. Okay, that got us pretty close. Maybe it's 760 or 755. Okay, maybe it's actually higher than that. Yeah, 770. Pretty much 771 or so. Yeah. So we'd have to hit $7.71 per Doge to get to $1 trillion market cap. $7.71 per coin. That is 22x what we are right now. So if you have, let's just say, $5,000 in Doge right now, and we got to $1 trillion, you would have 6 figures. Your 5 grand would turn to 6 figures. Now that's extremely ambitious, guys. This is not turning into a hype stream. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Okay, so if you popped into the stream and you heard, oh, 6 figures, Doge to 771, please don't hang around for that. It's not that kind of stream. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay, that's extremely ambitious, but I'm just saying, if we got anywhere near Bitcoin's market cap right now, Our per coin value would have to be $7. That would get us there, about 750. And if it hits 750, whatever our investment is right now would be 22x. So whatever you've invested would be 22 times profit. Quick maths. Everybody's quiet, man. Someone tweeted, hold the F up. So AMC sold 8.5 million shares to Mudrick Capital, and then Mudrick sold their entire stake on the same day at profit, claiming that the shares were overvalued and that's why they dumped them same day. And AMC apes are still driving the price up through reckless call option activity. I'm done. Yeah, that's crazy. You'd only make 5K. Bro, what do you have, like $200 in? Yeah, 227, 225 was your initial investment. What's up with Shiba? I have 3 mil coins. Nice. What is that, like $3,000 investment? Nothing's really up with SHIB. The only thing is the Shiba Swap exchange that's coming, which should end up being like a competitor to Uniswap and whatnot. And not MetaMask. That's a wallet. But yeah. So with the exchange coming online, you would assume that there would be maybe a little bit of extra value. Or I'll just say not extra, but actually maybe some value brought to the Shiba coin, because now there's the exchange for that token and more. So that might bump the price up a little bit. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, it could do 100%. I don't know. But if you're going to buy Shiba, that's what I'm saying. Buy before Shiba Swap goes live and buy at a dip, you know, as cheap as you possibly can. And I probably wouldn't all in on that move either, because it's very risky. But yeah, I'm probably going to buy some Shiba tonight and then just not look at it for like a year and see what happens. Because the coin itself here's the thing, it just doesn't have any value. It's like Doge pre-SNL event. It was just hype. You know, Doge didn't do anything. You couldn't use it anywhere. It's basically like arcade tokens that everybody fell in love with. They didn't have any actual value. Nobody was accepting them as payment. That's basically Shiba right now as well. Shiba is the Doge before we got value. Except it did one pump and it has not moved since. So it's not looking great. But when it's not looking great, that's the time to invest. Don't invest when everybody else is hyped. And then you get caught at the top and then there's a dump. Buy when no one else cares. App.shibaswap.com. I don't think that's live. Yeah, it's not live yet. But if we look at TradingView, SHIB. This chart sucks. Uniswap. Ew. Some of these charts are bad. Alright, we'll use this. Here's the thing with Shiba. Or with SHIB, whatever you want to call it. Basically, look when it was created. When was SNL event? Was it not May 11th? May 11th, SNL event. Right around May 11th, Shiba Coin crafted. Why was it crafted? To be the Doge killer. To be a repeat of Doge's hype, which means they literally crafted it to try and duplicate the pump, to ride off the hype of Dogecoin and try and get another pump in for those that missed the first pump on Doge. So they literally created a coin to be a pump and dump. That's all Shiba Inu is. They tried to make it cute as well and appeal to people and be cute and friendly and like a little more appealing than Dogecoin. Look, you can actually do the Shiba snacks and all that extra stuff. Actual value to Shiba Coin. No value. What does that mean though? Well, I mean, you can look here and show that, just see that there wasn't too much value assigned to it. After the initial spikes, has not recovered. Now it's getting to a point here where it's pretty much at the bottom of what it's ever been worth. And this chart isn't 1,000% accurate. There was some action before this, I believe. But, I mean, the lowest this coin has ever been was like right here. About 2. When it first came out. And we're pretty much at the bottom near recent support. This was the great dip to buy though. Right around 7,000. Or 700 according to this chart. Right around here. That ship has kind of sailed. But we're getting this dip back. And this general curl move here, I don't know, to me this looks a little bit bullish overall. Like this could just continue to do this. There could be some profit there. But the only reason I even think about this is because one, it's really cheap. And I know that's going to appeal to a lot of people. And two, like I said, Shiba Swap Exchange. And this will kind of be the coin of that exchange. So if I'm looking to give this a try, there is a lot of potential because you know how people go with low prices. They're like, oh, I can have, like you have 3 million coins. Let's buy in. If this just goes to 1 cent, I'll be a millionaire. There's that allure. That's why they created it like this. It even says it on their website. But if enough people follow, you know, we can catch the next hype move, but buy in dirt cheap where there's almost no risk. That's the way I look at it. No risk. Put a couple $100s in here or something. Check back later. If there's a pump, sell. It's just like free money with low risk. As long as I put something in that I don't care if it basically gets burned, then pretty much low risk. Pro the Doge. Let's take a look at Shiba Swap, see what it's all about. But I need to actually try and get some of this right now before I forget again. But let's just get a quick video playing on the Swaparino. See what's up with it. There's me. Oh my god. Interesting.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I want to build on my video from the other week on why the Shiba Inu coin is a giant scam and explain to you why the highly sought after Shiba swap simply doesn't exist. I'll be going through a thread that explains how the Shiba Inu coin is already a $70 million scam, how the Shiba Swap proof video shows absolutely nothing, why the Shiba Swap devs are staying anonymous, how those devs have been behind previous scam coins in the past, and how the lead developer behind the Shiba Swap platform actually abandoned the project in March. If you guys are new to the channel, or you've seen some of my other videos in the past, but you haven't subscribed yet, then be sure to subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell. But for now, stay tuned.
Reasons why not to do it than watch videos on why to do it, because there's going to be a million videos of YouTubers just hyping it up just by default because it's views. So if there's any legitimate reasons why I shouldn't invest, I'll check those out. But right now I'm leaning towards putting a couple $100 in, kind of regardless.
And let's make some money.
Has to say.
Now I want to dive straight in with the key information. So the thread starts off by giving a bit of an overall content for the research performed. The original poster explains how he identified that the Shiba Swap platform doesn't actually exist. how we identified that those devs exited the project in March, and how we actually identified the identities of those developers. Shiba Inu was first written about on the 2nd of August 2020 by Ryoshi, the anonymous founder. Right from the get-go, the Shiba Inu coin was a bit of a meme coin, as he used meme spellings, such as friends and poor boy. The Shiba Swap platform was supposed to release in April of 2021. Right now, at the end of May, start of June, the platform is still no closer to release. A little bit later, we'll find out just how close to completion the Shiba Swap platform really is. The post goes on to suggest that the main founders of the Shiba Inu coin are ECS and SHR. The original poster has kept these identities secret, as will I, for privacy reasons. The post also goes on to suggest why the original poster is only now releasing this information. The research starts by using the Wayback Machine on shibatoken.com, the Shiba Inu coin website. The Wayback Machine is basically a website that stores pretty much any web page on any website on the entire internet. For example, you could use the Wayback Machine to have a look at what Graham Stephan's channel used to look like in 2017, or Andre Jik's channel, for example. Back in October of 2020, the Shiba Inu website used to look like this, and referred to a website called leashdoge.com, and also had an animated video of the Shiba Inu. If we go to leashdoge.com and have a look at the website code, we can see that it refers to Company H, a Persian tech company. Both the website for Company H and the website for the Shiba Inu coin use a lot of similar graphics, such as that animated video. If you have a look at the JavaScript library for Company H, we can see that it's Owl Carousel 2. Apparently that JavaScript library isn't used very often, so remember that name. The poster then used a plugin called ExifTool to have a look at the metadata for the old blurred images of the Shiba Swap website, and even the new images of the Shiba Swap website. But interestingly, these images aren't screenshots from a privated, fully set up, fully complete website. Those screenshots actually come from an exported Photoshop document with multiple layers, last edited on the 28th of April. So as at the 28th of April, the Shiba Swap website was no more than a Photoshop document, or something created on Paint, for example. But maybe the Shiba Swap website has been created since then, right? Well, let's find out. Interestingly, these Photoshop documents were created by somebody that speaks Spanish. Capa in Spanish is layer, as in Photoshop Layer 1, Photoshop Layer 2, and so on. The Shiba Inu woof paper was also uploaded by somebody that speaks Spanish, uploaded from GMT+2, as in a Spanish-speaking time zone. But what about the photo of the Shiba Swap platform that was uploaded to Reddit on the 19th of May? Well, this photo doesn't show the staking aspect, or the burying aspect, or anything like that Shiba Swap talks about, only the swapping aspect. And interestingly, there's no button that says swap on this screenshot. So how are you supposed to swap your coins without a button to do so? So maybe even as recently as the 19th of May, the Shiba Swap platform still doesn't exist. Maybe it's not even been started yet. Maybe it's only a dodgy Photoshop document. So let's figure out who's masterminding the Shiba Swap platform and why this project was abandoned in March. If we have a look at the Shiba Inu team using the Wayback Machine, we can see that there was 8 total devs. Fast forward 2 weeks and there's still 8 devs, but one of them's changed. The 4th one along in the top right corner, ECS. If we Google the missing or perhaps fired dev's name, it takes us to a different website, a subdomain within the Shiba token website in the governance section, and a photo of him. The original poster then continued to search his name, found his CV, his Facebook, his GitHub, his website, and a load of other personal information, so I wouldn't recommend doing that just to keep this guy anonymous. These sources link ECS to another developer, SHR, and they've both worked together on a number of different crypto projects in the past, such as Scoin. There's also a limited company that ties the two together, cryptonomics.com, Dame Coins, API cryptocurrency, and more. The other developer, SHR, is Spanish and is likely the one that uploaded the Photoshop documents onto the Shiba Inu coin website. SHR has also been behind previous crypto-related scams in the past, which doesn't bode well for the Shiba Inu coin. This new coin that SHR and ECS are working on, S-Coin, also has plans for an S-Coin swap. Very similar to Shiba Swap. So it seems that both of them banned Shiba Inu back in March and are now focusing on a new coin, S-Coin. Eric M then released a so-called proof video in the Discord, which the original poster suggests doesn't really show much. The font is different, the buttons are different colour, different location, and supposedly the wallet that was receiving the Shiba Inu coins was faked, as apparently no wallet with that address received any coins at the time of the video recording. It seems like the devs and the founders of Shiba Inu are trying to stay as anonymous as possible, having been related.
I don't know. There were some comments from some people just kind of hating on this video. I won't call it hating because they could have had a point. Maybe this guy's just full of it. But so far, what I'm hearing, I mean, it sounds like he kind of looked it up and he's not just kind of pulling things out the air. If what he's saying is true, that's pretty concerning. And you really, I mean, it's usually pretty difficult to know who's behind what projects. So if they did some research and figured out that some of the devs that started this project were actually had a reputation for creating scam cryptocurrencies, I would not be surprised, because when you also factor in that they probably, I mean, we know that they created this cryptocurrency, whoever did it, to ride off the hype of Doge. That's the only reason this thing exists, was because May 11th SNL event, there was all this hype. A lot of people missed the hype train and everybody's like, what's next? What's next? Okay, what's next? What cryptocurrency's next? So they start looking at every type of Shiba related coin. Doge token, Shiba, then these other variations of like the Shiba dog, the Japanese dog that looks like a Shiba. Everybody just trying to, pump, hype, dog. That's all everybody was thinking about for a coin. And so, and this coin, it doesn't do anything else. So I would not be surprised if this was created to ride off that hype. They put stuff out there to generate a pump, and the developers had a couple coins for themselves or bought in cheap, knowing what would happen, and sold and dipped. That's the way, I mean, that isn't impossible. Now, on the other side, that doesn't necessarily matter, because at the end of the day, if the coin is still legitimate, right, and there's nothing fundamentally wrong with the coin, and it's super cheap and there's potential for the price to go up, you can still ride the price up. It just might not be a long-term investment. You just make some profit and leave eventually. So, not particularly stopping me from putting a couple $100 in. But if there really is no plan for Shiba Swap and that was all fabricated to generate hype for the pump, that's a bit concerning, and maybe the move up isn't what I had in mind. But with like I said, if you just put something in there that you're not worried about losing at the end of the day, does it really matter? Not really. Maybe I'll still take the chance. This is only one guy's video, so we'll do some more research.
To previous cryptocurrency scams in the past. It also seems like those devs and founders abandoned Shiba Inu and Shiba Swap back in March, and there's been no progress since. Shiba Swap was supposed to be released back in April, but as at the end of May, June, hasn't been released yet. The Shiba Inu coin was also supposed to be listed on Coinbase and Robinhood, but at the time of making this video, that also hasn't happened either. Maybe I'll be proved wrong on all accounts. If the original and existing devs of Shiba Inu bought some SHIB tokens a while ago and sold them around the all-time high, they'd likely have enough money to pay a proper coder and some proper developers to actually create the Shiba Swap website. Maybe that's what they're doing right now, and maybe the Shiba Swap website will go live over the next few months. However, the hype around the Shiba Inu coin is almost certainly starting to die out. At its highest, daily volume for the Shiba Inu coin was around $21.9 billion. Now,
crazy, not worth more than $100 investment. It's really not. This is the graph I was looking at. So you see, this is where Shiba started off at, and then it had a bit of a run up with the pumps as the YouTubers started making their videos and everything just started coming together, and then just never has it gotten close since then. That's a pretty bad sign. And it just looks like though this flat line here is pretty much the bottom. So buying in there seems pretty low risk. If anything, it probably just has downside to here. And when I did the math earlier, from here to the top of this pump is about 30x, 30 times. From here to here is about divided by 3. So it's a 3 risk to 30 gain like risk reward, if you know what I mean. You can lose your money and end up with a third of your money if it dumps to the low, or you can end up with 30 times your money. So the risk reward's pretty big, positive, but it's just a little risky because, you know, why are people going to buy it? You tend to err on the side of caution, especially when it's your money. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be all-inning on Shiba. That is literally just a gamble and a prayer. So yeah, but I'm just interested as, you know, a little, throw something in there, see what happens down the line, maybe catch a pump, a little bit of money I might not care too much about. Low, but still with it being smart at the buy-in time when I decide to give it a try, like lowish risk, high reward. Like I said, 3 to 30.
$9 billion.
And who's to say there won't be one more pump ever within the next couple months?
Now, a measly $400 million. And therefore, the Shiba Inu coin has a massive hill to climb to get back to its previous highs. And I personally don't think it can do it. Now, if you want to hear about news like this before I make a video, and you want to become part of my team where we talk about stocks before they blow up, then be sure to check out the links to the Patreon and the private Discord down in the description below. And as always guys, if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to check out some of my others. Alternatively, subscribe to the channel and ding the notification bell, because that way you'll be alerted when I make a new video. Cheers.
Cheers. Interesting.
So I guess I'm not the only person that heard about this. But then again, like Gaptooth wasn't in for the longest time.
I don't get why the Dogecoin millionaires are posting that they're adding more Doge, that they're buying more Doge. I don't see what that's supposed to mean. Pro the Doge posts that same stuff. He's like, yeah, I just bought 10,000 more Doge. I'm like, okay, but there's really no reason for you to do that now, but all right.
Okay, folks, so we've got a...
This is a little off topic. We'll go back to Shiba in a second, but this is one of the guys I learned trading from. I've watched plenty of people on YouTube and other places, but this was one of them towards the beginning. He does some pretty decent analysis. So let's see what he has to say about the AMC squeeze.
A lot to talk about, and yes, it's going to be violent. So another day, another AMC rally, but this is still kind of that FOMO rally that we've been seeing over the last week. We still haven't seen much evidence of a short squeeze. This seems to be just people buying and buying and buying. So we got to talk about what's going on, what the CEO just did, why a hedge fund just bought and sold a ton of shares of AMC, and how AMC may be structuring itself to help retail win this battle.
Topic.
And of course, first, before we get into all of this, we're also going to be going ahead and giving an updates on some of our major plays and what happened today and what's going to be happening moving forward. And the only thing that I ask of you in return is that you hit that ravishing like button, and also don't forget to subscribe either. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with some updates. So NEO reported deliveries over the last couple of weeks.
Just skip to the AMC portion. Bear with me.
Because at any moment, because eventually what it's done to find capital going to run.
He does a lot of recap. It's probably going to be towards the end of the video.
$27 and to AMC's $27 with a little bit since it had its major sell-off, but there's a lot of regulatory and environmental FUD that it needs to go through, and we gotta let it all breathe. Okay, now for the main entree.
Wait.
AMC.
We could listen to the Bitcoin portion as well.
Market, we were kind of late on it, and then what happened? Well, it kind of traded like this for hours, and then a lot of the run was towards the end of the day. I like catalyst.
You threw 50 bucks at it? You mean AMC or Shiba, Michael? I'm assuming AMC.
Plays that either have a very, very strong uptrend or a very, very strong downtrend, so then at least you know what you're dealing with. But with this play, it just kept giving so many fake outs for hours, and I think this was a nightmare play. Even if you're trading this over the directional SMA line, which is to say you're trading the trend, you know, I mean, it's a dirty play. Lastly, in terms of crypto miners, I know that Riot and Mara were up today, but I continue to think that of all of our high conviction plays, these are the most likely to still be in their losing cycle, or at least in their slow cycle. We need to see Bitcoin bounce back, and it hasn't been able to find that resilience. It's still in that bearish trend. Sure, it's been bouncing back and forth a little bit since it had its major sell-off, but there's a lot of regulatory and environmental FUD that it needs to go through, and we gotta let it all breathe. Okay, now for the main entree, AMC. First event that happened today was AMC selling 8.5 million shares at a 4% premium to hedge fund Mudrick Capital. This hedge fund bought AMC at a price of $27.17, which was higher than it closed at on Friday. AMC is in this very, very strange situation where after a decade of retreating revenue and then a year of being basically shut down entirely, it needs to figure out how to balance protecting its future without pissing off its retail traders who hold the majority of its shares. And the way that they executed today's sale is really a representation of that. They offered a relatively low amount of shares, 8.5 million, which compared to AMC's 450 million shares or so outstanding isn't very much, and they sold it at a premium. So nobody was really pissed off about this. And then shortly after, the very same hedge fund that just purchased the shares, well, it was reported that it then sold all of them, presumably at a large profit since the stock rallied throughout the day. Bloomberg reported what? Well, they reported that the decision to dispose of the stake came after the firm concluded that AMC stock was overvalued. Boy, what honest reporting there, huh? We like AMC enough to pay over 200 million bucks to buy a ton of shares at a very, very heightened price after, you know, last week's massive rally. And then right when we get our shares, we're gonna be like, oh, you know what? We just didn't do enough DD. You know, I just didn't Google AMC to realize that, hey, you know what? Maybe this is fundamentally overvalued.
Yeah, that's hilarious. A hedge fund, by the way, guys. A hedge fund. Not just anybody, not a retail trader, not a millionaire, not a billionaire, one person. A hedge fund. All right? They know what they're getting themselves into if they're going to buy $230 million worth of stock. They know what they're getting themselves into. So the fact that they took that offering, bought it, and dumped it in the same exact day in a matter of hours just proves to you that they never actually wanted that to begin with. It was obviously a way for AMC to do a stock offering and raise money without upsetting the AMC diamond handers, because they're trying to, you know, play nice with them. They're liking what they're doing to the stock right now. So instead of doing a stock offering, they just sold some stock directly to one group of people at a premium. So it wasn't at such a deep discount that the people that were already buying in would have been mad about. They sold them to them so that that group of people could then just dump them into the market. So instead of going from, you know what I mean, from AMC to hedge funds, it just went from AMC to one group and then from that group out. So a little workaround of an exchange, of a offering, but didn't affect the price, so I guess they succeeded. Shib, not expecting anything from it though. Yeah, I hear you. I just got crypto.com, and it's looking like this might be the easiest way to buy sheep. I'll let you know in about 2 minutes here while we keep listening to this.
Because hedge funds, you know, they always focus on the fundamentals. What a company's worth, that's why they buy and sell so many times in a day. Because they just change their minds so often. It has nothing to do with manipulating market cycles. I don't know, somebody with a brain may say perhaps maybe these folks saw an opportunity to pile on a large position in a hot and heavily shorted stock, ride the momentum, and then get out at a damn near profit, potentially gaining more than 40 million in the span of a few hours. But a lot of the media wants us to believe that they just decided that the fundamentals didn't make sense anymore after a couple dollar rally. How stupid do they think we are? You put over 200 million bucks in a company and then you expect us to believe you just changed your mind a couple hours later and you weren't just playing the cycles? That being said, I've got to hand it to Mudrick. They have been one of the few hedge funds that have accurately played the AMC rally this year, pretty much the entire year and last year. They frequently came to AMC's help over and over again and made a hefty profit, but they did come to AMC's help. And at the end of the day, I don't blame them for selling their shares. Yeah, it's not that easy to take out $200 million from a stock like this. The higher that AMC goes, the more of a liability it becomes for this company to take their shares out. When you have $200 million positions, you don't have like a couple $1,000 positions like most retail traders, then you have to worry about $200 million worth of buyers. Whereas if you sell into strength like we saw today, you're going to make a profit. If you sell into sort of a more flat, non-liquid market, you may not be able to make much of a profit. It might just go down dramatically. The mechanism for AMC to skyrocket is also the mechanism that can restrict the ability for people to take profits at very high levels. If you have 400 million shares in circulation that all retail traders want to dump at once, well, obviously AMC is going to go really, really quickly down because there's going to be so much selling pressure. And a hedge fund doesn't want to get stuck in that process. It wants to sell into strength. Now, in terms of short sellers are continuing to lose money, but short interest has continued to increase on AMC according to Ortex. Hedge funds haven't given up. They still think they're going to win this. And it's based on whether retail can keep showing up to determine whether they're going to be proven right or wrong. You look at the after hours trading and it's really clear that retail is throwing a ton of buying power into the game. I mean, this is almost unbelievable. But I also think that the data suggests that we are earlier in the battle than we think we are. Short interest hasn't even begun to cool off yet, so retail has to keep showing up or at least not selling in order for this squeeze to actually work. It may end up taking a lot more patience. And it's hard to say at what point the ape community is going to decide to sell out. I hear you guys saying never. But still, legitimately, at the end of the day, that's a real question. Pretty obvious that the longer this goes on, the more statistically it makes sense for this to have an intense short squeeze. Eventually, it's going to be a bludgeon in one way or the other. And in terms of the company itself is playing a pretty aggressive game here. It's playing a very strong offensive, using the capital to expand aggressively and perhaps push some merger and acquisitions. For example, it's looking to take over 2 chains with a combined 300 screens that were shuttered during the pandemic. Admittedly, it's a very interesting strategy because the pandemic screwed so many feeders that if AMC can position itself aggressively to take over all the small kids on the block, then the bounce that is going to happen to movie theaters and the movie theater industry is going to be disproportionately rewarded to AMC. The issue, of course, is that, hey, overall, over the last 20 years, you've seen attendance go down, so that market that AMC is fighting to get a bigger share of is getting smaller. Now, I'm of the opinion that, hey, there's a clear trend where movie theater attendance is going down, but I think that movie theaters are always going to be around in some form. I think that there's going to be a small but consistent level of movie theater.
He's right. This guy's pretty good at analyzing stuff, which is why I like to listen to his perspectives. But he is right. So if you looked at AMC's, and I don't think he showed all of it here. Yeah, this only went back a couple days. If you look at AMC's chart, let's just do that real quick. Because if you're trying to play the AMC game, it's important to know what AMC's chart actually says. Oh yeah, I forgot about Doge. Doge isn't doing anything. Doge is just doging, the usual. All right, so if you look at AMC's chart, let's put it on like a daily time frame here. It's a little ugly, so maybe not. 4 hours, 2 hours, 4. So this is the recent price activity on AMC. Recent price activity on AMC. So you can see here, we're all up in here going crazy. $40. Woo. If you zoom out and you look at the recent history, okay, this was the last little squeeze attempt that AMC did about a couple months ago in January. Right here, look at where the price was before that, $1.91. Okay, AMC was $1.91 when no one was messing with it during the pandemic. Now, keep in mind, they were going out of business. There was rumors they were going to go bankrupt and all that stuff. So, obviously being heavily shorted and almost dead as a company, it's not crazy to think they were that low value, but just keep in mind where they were before the Reddit army's like, look at this overly shorted stock. Let's go buy it up. Envu, what's going on? Well, good morning. Welcome back to the stream, man. Then it went to $20. Then after the hype died off, where did it go back to? About $8. Okay, $8 to $12. So keep in mind when you're just trying to think of average price of an asset without manipulation. Now let's go back. Let's just go pre-pandemic, okay? So let's just get completely out of 2020 even. Let's go back to 2019. At this point, we should be 2019. Let's look, what was the value of AMC? Good question. So, as we're here, okay, this is 2019 right here. About 13 to like $15-ish. 13, $15. It spiked at 17, started selling off. This was May 2019 right here. Went all the way down to $8. So you can say anywhere from $8 to $15 is kind of where AMC tended to range before bad things happened. Now, at its absolute best, AMC had some moments there where it was up at like 21 bucks at its absolute best. Bought 11 million SHIB just to see what happens. Nice. What is that, like $100? $100 a SHIB? I'm about to do the same thing. But just keep this in mind. This is what I'm saying. Like, you got to look at the actual price, the actual worth of AMC was never higher than $21 at really any point as far back as it'll let me go. 2013, yeah. Oh, here it was. I thought I saw 30 before. I was kind of thrown off. So $33.51. The all-time high was that. $33.51. And this was in 2015. Peak AMC, 2015. Right now, we were at $39 today. $39 and about 41 cents today. Crazy. 123 exactly. Yeah, I know that because I was just looking to buy SHIB, and it offered me like 7 million SHIB for like $60. So I was thinking like $100 is probably 11 million. Good guess by me, I guess. I'll give myself a pat on the back and feel smart for a moment. But yeah, 33.51, highest ever. And then today, just because they want to, with AMC pretty much out of business, they, squeezed the price up to $39, beating the all-time high. Just something to keep in mind. Also, like he said, people, though movie theaters are kind of becoming a little more relevant because there's Netflix, there's Hulu, you can watch movies at home, especially post-pandemic, like mid-pandemic into post-pandemic, how people are just trying to figure out, like, how can we still make movies safely and get the movies out to where people can watch them. And so more recently, we've seen this kind of pay-per-view type model come out where you can pretty much watch feature films at home. You just have to buy them. So, which makes perfect sense. But now that model's kind of becoming adopted, who knows how many people are actually going to want to try and go back to movie theaters. Will they stop completely doing that pay-per-view thing they just started and pretend like it never happened? But the thing is, like he said, people are still, regardless of what convenience you have at home, going to the movies is not just going to watch a movie and that's it. It's an experience. It's something to do. Like when you go bowling or when you go ice skating or when you go out to dinner versus eating at home. It's something to do. It's kind of like an event, an activity. You go to the movies to not just see the movie, but to have a good time, usually with other people. So being like an amenity like that, I mean, it's not going to go away. Even if business does die down, even if there is less activity, people are still going to want to have a movie theater to go to the movies. It's something to do. It's an activity. So AMC, as long as they can hang in there, they're not going anywhere as long as they don't go bankrupt. But yeah, it is just kind of interesting to see the squeeze.
I also think that the data suggests that we are earlier in the battle than we think we are. Short interest hasn't even begun to cool off yet, so retail has to keep showing up, or at least not selling in order for this squeeze to actually work. It may end up taking a lot more patience. Why is it so hard to buy Shiba, by the way? And it's hard to say at what point the ape community is going to decide to sell out. I hear you guys saying never, but still, legitimately, at the end of the day, that's a real question. Pretty obvious that the longer this goes on, the more statistically it makes sense for this to have an intense short squeeze. Eventually, it's going to be a bludgeon in one way or the other. And in terms of the company itself is playing a pretty aggressive game here. It's playing a very strong offensive, using the capital to expand aggressively, and perhaps push some merger and acquisitions. For example, it's looking to take over 2 chains with a combined 300 screens that were shuttered during the pandemic. Admittedly, it's a very interesting strategy because the pandemic screwed so many theaters that if AMC can position itself aggressively to take over all the small kids on the block, then the bounce that is going to happen to movie theaters and the movie theater industry is going to be disproportionately rewarded to AMC. The issue, of course, is that, hey, overall, over the last 20 years, you've seen attendance go down, so that market that AMC is fighting to get a bigger share of is getting smaller. Now, I'm of the opinion that, hey, there's a clear trend where movie theater attendance is going down, but I think that movie theaters are always going to be around in some form. I think that there's going to be a small but consistent level of movie theater attendees that persist, and eventually the downtrend will level out. I also think that over the short to medium term, you're going to see massive growth in attendance because everything's opening up again. People don't have to wear masks in theaters. People want to go out and see a movie. I think that the growth rates are going to be very good in terms of recovery. But I don't think that this is going to reverse the decade's trend of people not going to the movies anymore. Keep in mind, I don't think that AMC is best traded on the fundamentals. AMC is simply a short squeeze market manipulation screw the hedge funds play that has potential specifically because hedge funds played unfair and retail called their bluff. But in terms of the company itself, hey, here's the problem. You gotta remember at the end of the day that AMC was trading in the 30s in 2015, and despite a strong economy and booming bull market, it just refused to break into new highs and was one of the worst performers for 5 years. One of the things that I've been very clear on is that I'm not making the argument for AMC being a good deal based on the fundamentals of the company. I think that AMC is doing a very good job of repositioning themselves and taking good advantage of this rally of retail traders in order to expand and perhaps capture that movie theater attendance market. But at the end of the day, it's not like AMC is a company that's going into this emerging booming industry. It's going into a temporarily emerging booming industry because COVID restrictions are going away. And obviously AMC is a leader in the movie theater industry, but I don't expect the movie theater industry to have these insane levels of growth post-pandemic recovery. You know, after 2025, are you going to be saying that AMC is the biggest growth story? So at the end of the day, you want to make sure you know exactly why you're buying this and why you're holding this. I'm not the magical garden gnome of all knowledge. If you think that movie theaters are really going to be the future and that's like the big thing of the next 50 years, I'm not making fun of you. That's your opinion, and you can have that opinion. Another thing that I'm very bullish on is electric vehicles. There's a lot of people that watch these videos that genuinely believe that electric vehicles have nothing to do with the future and it's all just a fad, and that, you know, gasoline cars they make a lot more sense. And those people have respectfully disagreed with me, and I'm like, okay, great. You know, we can all have different opinions. But I just want to be clear that my take on this is that, hey, this makes sense because it's a manipulated hedge fund play. I think that at the end of the day, this is a play that if you really have a very high risk tolerance and you want to stick it to the hedge funds and you want that potential for a massive squeeze if retail keeps showing up, then hey, you know what? This is a good play. But I have to tell you that a lot of people at the end of the day, whenever this ends, are going to end up getting hurt. If you're buying this, make sure you're buying it with money that you can afford to lose. Make sure that you have a clear intention to be in the position and understand the full situation. You know, that's all I can really tell you about that. Folks, that caps off the video. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us below.
Indeed. I have to have a high risk tolerance for that one because there's plenty of room down. Do I want to watch this? Do we want to watch this? I don't think we do. Let's see what Pro the Doge got to say. And guys, we're just kind of hanging out right now. There's nothing crazy going on with Dogecoin, so kind of just learning, passing some time while Doge decides what it's going to do next. Right now, in a bit of a dip, a little bit of a sell-off here. It made the move up, kind of ran out of steam at, guess what? Guess what level? 38 cents. Surprised? Shouldn't be. Honestly, if I had seen that, I might have sold there. Too late now. Okay. Anyway. Did he make anything recent? No. All right, what do we learn? What do we learn about next? Shiba? News. Okay, maybe there was, here's the thing, if there was actual news, why did the price of Shiba not move today? That's my question. To me, this all looks like clickbait, but hey, we're going down the rabbit hole, so hey,
What
Shiba
is
it up.
going on, folks? It is Rigor Mortis. We are back with yet another video. Today is an update on Shiba Inu. Guys, there has been some crazy news coming out recently
Has there?
on Shiba Swap from the development team, from Shaitoshi. I had to give you guys this update today. It is absolutely monstrous in my opinion. It seems as if Shiba Swap is just on the horizon, so we'll talk about that today. We'll go ahead and talk about the Robinhood petition as well, where we are standing when it comes to that. Taking a look at some things on Twitter that are giving me even more confidence in this coin, so stick around to the end of the video because I think it's going to be an absolute banger. But folks, if you are new around here, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button, join the family of investors, go ahead and throw a like on this video so we can get it out to more people. And guys, please comment down below your thoughts and opinions on all things Shiba Inu. Last but not least, if you are new to investing or if you are looking for a new brokerage to invest with, I am an official Webull affiliate. The way it works, folks, if you use that affiliate link down in the description below and deposit $100 into your Webull brokerage account, you can get a free stock valued from $8 all the way up to $1,600. Now, if you also and you can also get a free stock valued from $2.50 all the way up to $250. So please go ahead, use that Webull affiliate link, sign up for a Webull account, and get yourself some free stocks. And not to mention the fact that you can now trade cryptocurrencies on Webull. Folks, the price action is a little wonky today. We did have this crazy spike here yesterday, and we did cool off a little bit this morning and this afternoon as we are trending a little bit sideways now. But folks, the story of today is definitely not the price action, but where the price action can potentially go here in the next couple of weeks as we are approaching Shiba Swap coming out. Here is a direct quote from Shaitoshi on the Discord, which gives me crazy confidence in Shiba Inu. Quote, "First and foremost, thanks guys, I love it here. Last 2 hours on the line with the lead dev doing final testing and I'm pumped, especially for LP providers. Watching harvestable bone just accumulate is a great feeling. Let me tell you, they knocked it out. After we test more today and after a gold bottle, I'm hoping to resend the code to..."
Info man, why are you so mad? Dude, you know I despise Shiba Inu. All I'm trying to see is as I diversify, okay, because here's what I like to do. I like to have most of my money in a guaranteed play that is relatively low risk but high reward. Okay, so for me that's Doge. Doge is still risky and it's still volatile, but there's high reward and a decent amount of risk, but not a lot, you know, because there are fundamentals that are holding it up and that are propelling it. It's not just a meme, a useless meme coin anymore. So that's why I like my Doge. Other than that, I like a very small portion to be in something more stable. So something like an Ethereum that I know is going to double in value over the course of probably a couple months. I invest in it and I leave that alone. I'm not trying to scalp that or anything crazy. That's my Ethereum, maybe even my Cardano play. But then every once in a while, I also like to have let me throw $100 at something and see if it turns into $1,000 play. All right, my YOLO play with just a couple dollars, just for fun. That is currently going to be Shiba Inu. It's dirt cheap, and I don't just mean dirt cheap because they put a bunch of zeros before it, because anybody can do that, because there's billions and billions of shares, so that doesn't really matter how cheap it is. But it is cheap compared to where it started, where they managed to pump the price to when people are really into it, and then where it pulled back to, and right now it is idling at a dirt cheap price compared to where it just was, because no one's paying attention to it. I like to get into things when no one's paying attention to it, and I know there's a high probability that there's going to be a move down the line, maybe short term. I think with Shiba Swap and everything, people will start to look at it, even if it's only for a couple days. They're like, oh, Shiba Swap, a competitor for Uniswap, blah, 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 blah. Let's buy the Shiba coin. Okay, there will probably be a move there, and then I'll probably just sell, make a couple bucks. It's also not any amount of money that I'm going to be worried about losing. I'll literally put it in there and forget it's in there until the price goes up. It's the same concept that I had for Doge this whole last week. We're all sitting here like, oh my God, Doge isn't doing anything. But the thing is, Doge is it's at a dirt cheap price compared to what it's actually tends to be sitting at. And that's because no one is looking at it. No one's paying it any attention. Everyone's chasing the next big thing. So they left Doge, they went to Shiba, then they left Shiba, and now they're in GameStop and AMC. So while everybody's doing that, I'm gonna buy in at the cheap price for when the people come back. That's kind of what I'm doing with SHIB. I do not like Shiba Inu at all. But if it's gonna make me $25 on my $100, okay. It'll be my why not. I hate it so much. I might as well use it for fun type thing. It'd be like that sometimes.
To our beast mode.
Plus, other than getting into really technical stuff, there's not too much to look at right now. Really just waiting for Doge to either go down there somewhere so I can average down or go up so that I could possibly cut. At this moment, Doge is just floating in the middle of nowhere. AMC obviously isn't moving. And there's really, I mean, I might as well have Bitcoin up here now because the stock market's closed. But I guarantee you Bitcoin's not doing anything worth looking at. Still trending in this channel, still needs to break above this line, which it hasn't done yet. Good old Bitcoin, still being depressing. That's what I like. That's what I like to see. Still being depressing.
Dev for final.
Thankfully, this guy isn't really hyping, or else I wouldn't be able to make it this far through the video.
I have no reason to believe it won't be stellar. And then he goes on to say some last things, and something that he hears often is, when will we get Shiba Swap? And he says soon. And then he wishes everybody a happy holiday. And there's some things in between that I won't read because they aren't pertinent to this video. But guys, this is big news. Shiba Swap is on the horizon, and it is going to be a banger in my opinion. I think this is going to be one of those catalysts that really changes the landscape when it comes to Shiba Inu. Everybody asks me, what is Shiba Swap even? Guys, this is going to be a one-stop shop for all things associated with Shiba Inu. That's going to be things like SHIB coin, obviously, leash coin, and bone. And you're going to be able to not only
the names trigger me more than anything.
Provide liquidity to the pools and get back some of your coins, get back coins just for holding it in the liquidity pools. You're going to be able to stake some of your coins as well, and then also farm. So guys, this is going to be a big deal for Shiba Inu. This is going to transform it from just a run-of-the-mill coin to an ecosystem, and I think it's going to be a huge deal, and I think the price is going to reflect that as soon as we start hearing some news about a release, or whenever it is actually released, either with an announcement or without an announcement. I think we can get back to all-time highs from this point as soon as Shiba Swap is released, but of course these are just my thoughts and opinions. I can't be sure. Let's go ahead and update the petition on Robinhood listing for Shiba Inu. Guys, we have 84,000 signatures, which is absolutely insane. This is again one of those things, one of those catalysts that's going to be such a big deal for Shiba Inu, and I think is really going to propel us forward here in the next couple of months. I gave you guys my price prediction for the end of 2021, and I still hold true to that. Depending on whether or not these catalysts actually come to fruition, I think that we will start breaking decimal points here very shortly, and I gave you guys a rough estimate of about a 40x here in the next year, and I think that's a very realistic goal for Shiba Inu, depending on whether or not these catalysts come to fruition. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and talk about the Twitter page. Another listing for Shiba Inu. This is Betiza. I think this is in Thai or something like that. I tried to Google translate it. I can't be for sure, but another listing nonetheless, which is always great news. Always coming out with more followers for the Shiba Inu Twitter. And again, the Shiba Informer, guys, this seems like every single time there is more and more catalysts, more and more people willing to accept Shiba Inu as a form of currency. We talked about the offices earlier this morning, the surgical offices that are now accepting Shiba Inu, and here we go. Kai Green.
No clickbait. Just bought 25 million Shiba.
Very well-known bodybuilder will work to accept payment in Shiba. It seems as if every single day there are more and more people willing to accept Shiba Inu as a form of payment, and it seems as if more and more people are accepting
Who's judging
Shiba
me right
Inu
now? Show of hands.
Over other cryptocurrencies, and they're always starting out with Shiba Inu because they know that it's so big right now. And we always talk about these exchanges and potential listings, and we know that there is at the end of the tunnel a Coinbase listing. That is the end all, maybe not end all, but that is the pinnacle of coin listings.
Shiba Swap. Get me interested in the Shiba Swap. That's all that matters here. will hit $1. No, it will not. Shiba Swap explained. Okay.
In this
doesn't look like a
video,
hype
I will
video.
explain everything.
Not even on Robinhood. Guys, I bought 25 million SHIB just now. Congratulations on the waste of money. Look, I've been trading so well. I needed to treat myself with a YOLO play, okay? One little YOLO play. I've been doing a good job. I've been sticking to my plan, except for that AMC move earlier that we won't talk about. We'll pretend like it didn't happen. But I did talk that over with you guys first. But no. SHIB, if you, and not that I even want to even think about it this way, but if you just do technical analysis on what's happened recently, it's very low risk. It's a dumb coin, don't get me wrong. You know I hate it. You know I do. But if they are going to come out with Shiba Swap, the thing is just going to go up in value naturally because of the exchange. So, and that will be the coin of it. So it's like I said, low risk, high potential reward, just for fun play. But the coin has no fundamentals. It's not anything interesting to me. It's just I saw a money making opportunity here because there's nobody in it. So it was only like $200. It's nothing crazy. $200. But it's just so cheap that you end up with a lot of coins, so it sounds absurd.
Thing about Shiba Swap.
By the way, if you are looking to buy Shiba, okay, because I've been actually researching how to buy Shiba for like the last week because it's so complicated for some reason. If you Google, how do I buy Shiba? Not that I'm encouraging anybody to do it because it's not financially smart with more than probably $100. If you are looking to buy Shiba, it's very difficult. You will Google it. You will see articles that say you can use Coinbase or you can use Binance or you can use something else. And then you'll download those exchanges and that software and those apps and it will not be there. Right. Yeah, it's a small portion of my buying power, so that's fine. It will not be there. Okay, the easiest way that I just found was crypto.com. If you do not have a crypto.com account and you want one, actually I don't think I have a referral link, but so far that was the easiest way. I just found it. It's the only thing I've downloaded where it's just been there. I was able to find it quickly, just add it. I literally just opened the app, went to the track tab. I searched coins right there. I typed in Shiba, I selected it, and it let me buy it. Took me a minute. All of these other exchanges, Binance US does not have Shiba. Even though it says that it does online, maybe the full version of Binance does, but Binance US does not have SHIB. Coinbase does not have SHIB. The only place I was able to see it was Uniswap. And when you do it that way, you have to jump through a whole lot of hoops. You have to have your crypto wallet, and then you have to get ETH. And then you have to put ETH in your crypto wallet, go over to Uniswap, and then swap your ETH for SHIB, and then put the SHIB, in your crypto wallet, and then put it back in whatever. Way too complicated. Crypto.com, I just went there and bought it like I would on Robinhood or something. So, if you're interested, so far that's the easiest way I found.
The latest craze in the cryptocurrency world at the moment. Just exactly what is the Shiba Swap? We're about to find out. And also, only a small percentage of people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. So if you end up getting value out of this video, consider subscribing with notifications turned on. It's free and you can always change your mind later. In that way, you will be notified whenever I have a new cryptocurrency video out, and you will two are already in circulation and a new one is yet to be released. Firstly, we have SHIB, the token that started it all and the one that is on everyone's lips at the moment. SHIB is an experiment in decentralized spontaneous community building. SHIB token is their first token and allows users to hold billions or even trillions of them. Nicknamed the Dogecoin killer, this ER token is leash. It has the opposite appeal to SHIB, which has among other tokens. According to their official website, they claim that Bone will take the power of DeFi to the next level. Details on how to acquire this token, tokenomics and incentives will be announced with the reveal of Shiba Swap. with all the tokens mentioned here, you will have two options on Shiba Swap. First option is staking, which they call Berry here. Berry will allow you to place your tokens in the respective pool and earn a fixed percentage reward. Second option is liquidity farming, which they call Dig here. Dig will provide liquidity and place your LP tokens in the respective pool and earn a percentage of transaction fees collected.
So
In
staking,
Shiba Swap's
okay.
official WooF paper, this is how they explain it. On Shiba Swap, your Shibs will dig for bones, or even bury their tokens. The best trainers even teach their Shibas to swap, which allows swap, they generate returns that are distributed to another
Didn't know
token.
that.
When Shibas dig, bury or swap, they generate returns that are distributed to the puppy pools where Shiba Army has either buried the tokens or digging for bones. Take note that the three tokens will have different returns and different LP pairs, so make sure to check the possible liquidity event. You may want to do it as soon as possible.
I regret buying this coin. All right, no more Shiba for me. That sounds absolutely terrible. That's probably the worst thing I've ever heard. What is that thumbnail? When is he not all in on Dogecoin? YouTube, you're killing me. Guys, what channels do you guys watch? Besides my live streams, what channels do you guys watch? It's really hard to find Dogecoin content that is not, for lack of a better word, cringy. You know, sometimes even being a streamer, I like to go watch a stream, a video, but I don't like cringing at the same time. You know? This is millennial money, by the way. These guys are the bomb.
Look at that. Elon Musk now revealing when he is going to buy his Dogecoin.
Doge Killer Coin, excuse me. So their essential reason. Yeah, it's really dumb, man. I can't watch this. Never mind. I tried. 2 seconds in, I'm done. Yeah. No, it's really bad. Shiba, the whole thing around Shiba, it just seems really childish, and I hate it. Like I said, the only reason I bought some is just in case, since it's at pretty much the lowest price it'll probably go in a while, just chilling at the bottom. Just bought a couple coins in case there's a pump later. I'm in with like $200 worth. Maybe I'll come out with like a couple $100 profit. If I lose anything, it'll probably only be like $100 on my $200 investment, which really isn't that bad. Risk reward, low. I mean, high reward, low risk overall at this price point if you just go in with a very small size. But the coin itself, yeah, the whole thing around it, it's just really dumb. Its only purpose was to compete with Doge for the pump. For the people that missed the Dogecoin pump on SNL night, it was like, all right, well, now we have another dog coin, guys. Come on over here. Let's ride this up. Let's make some money off of each other. Let's do a pump and dump, a formal pump and dump. And then they did all this really weird, childish dog bone leash treat stuff that I just can't stand. That has nothing to do with why I bought the coin. It's literally just to make money, potentially. Mickey, what's going on, bro? Still sitting on the sidelines. Now we're at 37. Great. Yeah, I agree. Now we're at 37. We did a nice little, I mean, we're kind of doing a little cup handle type thing here. We'll see what happens right here. If this can curl up and move up, I mean, we might be heading to 40 cents tonight. We might be heading near 40 cents. We've got the strength for it. There's nothing stopping us. Ooh, look at this little move here. Okay, Bitcoin, it's your time to go. Actually, let's switch you to Doge, and then let's go full screen Doge. The Doge content is all clickbait trash. It's so bad. It's frustrating, though, because that's how you get all the views, but you click on the videos, and it's just like, you don't learn anything. It's just people hyped about the wind changing direction. It's like, come on. I still like this guy's channel. Fine Maddox. You want to pull the trigger? Oh, you mean to buy in? Oh, man, why are you still sitting on the sidelines, man? You've been sitting over there for a while. Here's the thing. We got very good news. Were you here on the early stream today? I don't recall. We ended up with a lot of people in a short period of time. Hey, Kelp, what's going on, bro? Saw, dude. We got some good news today. So at this particular moment, we're not following Bitcoin. Coinbase Pro announced today that as of today, they are allowing their users to use Dogecoin on their system. So we got the Coinbase announcement weeks in advance. Just came as a surprise today on Twitter. And so that's why we had this run up here to anybody that missed that news. Should you just YOLO it and buy and hold? It's just a little late, man. If you want to, I'm not going to judge you because I know you probably missed your intro, your buy-in. But to do so right now is a pretty bad time. Yeah, what Invu said. Buying now is just it's a bad time, man. Because you see where we're at. You see this resistance right here? I mean, this is where we're coming at. So if you buy, the most probable thing that's going to happen here, just knowing, I mean, how things just obviously work, is it's going to pull back to who knows where. It could do a small pullback and go forward, or it can do a big, like a pullback to here and show signs of weakness, or it can do just a pullback to straight down here. Like, we don't know. So it's unfortunately, Mickey, a little too late for me to say buy in. All I know is you're very close to resistance. In this case, if I'm trying to give advice to someone that's this late to the game and they're just like, man, I missed it, I didn't mean to, what can I possibly do? Your best bet is to wait out this move right here. So this move that's already formed, it's to wait this out and see what happens next. Does it pull back and give you a buy opportunity somewhere in the dip zone or close to it? Because anything under 35 cents probably isn't too bad. The Coinbase Pro announcement's pretty good. And if we pull back to like 35 cents or lower tonight, tomorrow on the run up to the announcement on Thursday, I mean, we're going to see some momentum. So anything 35 and lower isn't like a bad dip opportunity. At 37 cents though, I wouldn't like to be there at all. But if I am going to be there at 37 cents, I wouldn't want to buy on the way up. I want to buy once we know that that's the new low. So by doing technical analysis and by then finding a technically good entry, what that would mean, wait till this comes up here. If it does blow through it, wait for the move, and it probably won't, it'll probably be, if it breaks through, it'll probably be a little sharper than that. No, wait for the move and then see what happens next. Does this turn into a test of support here at this level? If it does, then that could be a buy opportunity at what's now support. You know, if it does a test or two and then starts to take off, then you know, okay, now I'm low compared to a level at least. And it's a little worse of a buy-in than here, but you know it's not just going to reverse on you. Right now, if you buy right here, there's a like 75% chance it hits here and goes down. So, the finance value guy, oh yeah, I watched some of that as well. I agree with you, Michael. That one's not too bad. So basically, Mickey, literally where these boxes are your two buy areas. You either wait for confirmation after it breaks through, pulls back and shows that this is going to be support. You look for a buy in this little area, or you wait for a dip. But anywhere kind of in this range is bad. You're supposed to graduate this week for high school, but I missed the only ceramic deadline and it was at the last week of school, so it's holding me back and giving me an F. What? Dude, that sucks. Man, that sucks to hear. Won't get your diploma with the rest of the class, man. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Yeah, no problem, Mickey. No problem. I'm kind of liking crypto.com. I'm experimenting with all of these different exchange apps. So far, crypto.com, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I like that. What I don't like is how they bait you in for the referral bonus. That's pretty lame. They say if you get referred and you sign up with a referral link, you get $25 free. But once you sign up, that $25 is not free. It says sign up bonus locked, and then when you click unlocked, these are the things you have to do. It says stake at least $400 worth of a crypto. So buy $400 worth of a crypto and then stake it. And then also right above that, it says you have to reserve their debit card. You have to sign up for their Visa card. What kind of ripoff? Miles G, yeah, I've watched Miles G and Stock Guru and Finance Guy. Roger Garcia, I don't think I've heard of Roger Garcia. I'll check that one out. Your favorite live is right here. Oh, right here? Hey, I was like, oh, what channel's right here? I was like, oh, you meant right here. Dude, I appreciate that. Thank you. Means a lot. I'm really starting to wrap my head around blockchain, which it's crazy how complicated this stuff really is when you get into like how do things work. I'm gonna make some videos on explaining blockchain, on-chain transactions, off-chain transactions, and a lot of these layer 2 solutions and what they actually are good for. These DeFi apps that provide solutions. Because I think a lot of people just think they're altcoins. They're like, oh, a competitor to Doge is the XRP or it's the Polygon. But it's like these things are actually like software that happen to have a coin. And all this complicated terminology, it's like a whole new language. I love it though. I really don't like NFTs though. I think it's pretty dumb. So let's do off-chain transactions. Let's get a little technical. I've watched a couple videos on it, but I'd like to hear a couple more explanations. I've watched this video, this video, this video. Did not watch that video because his face was all up in the camera weird. Maybe I'm weird. I don't know. This video, but I think it had bad reviews.
And welcome back to Crypto Whiteboard 101, the series in which I answer your most important questions about cryptocurrencies.
Oh, no, it didn't. Let's watch this.
And today we are answering the question, what is an off-chain or a layer 2 settlement mechanism? So, to review the basics of blockchain.
Roger Garcia? Okay, I'll check that out.
Send a transaction, it gets
Exactly, Invu. Good calls. Good calls. When it's floating in the middle of the air, that is when you don't buy. Do I have indicators hidden? Where's my EMA? No. It is floating in the middle of the air. There are no EMAs close by. You could say here, but I don't usually like to trade off the 1 minute in EMA. Usually Doge does not respect the 1 minute EMA very much. It hangs around it, sure, but it will blow through it as it pleases and fake you out. For example, here, it went below the 200 EMA. Maybe you're thinking, oh, this is done for. This is a sell. Okay, but no, it did an inverted head and shoulders at the EMA and reversed. I just don't like to mess with that. If I'm going to trade around the EMA, it's going to be the 3-minute. As you can see here, much more respectful of the 3-minute EMA. Like, except for at these points here, but like on the way up, respected it, went under, stayed under it, went over it, stayed over it. Much better signals on the 3 minutes time frame with the 200 EMA. Let's learn about some level 2 solutions off-chain.
Process through the blockchain and affects a distributed public ledger. Now, this is good and secure, but the problem is that it requires a lot of computational power, a lot of energy, it can be expensive, and it can be slow. Now, settling transactions in this way is sometimes called on-chain settlement or mainnet settlement. Off-chain differs from this in that it is a way of settling transactions without having to use miners, affecting the underlying ledger, or incurring mining transaction fees. So here's how it works. Basically, the blockchain is continuing to operate. People will commit funds to an off-chain protocol or platform. Now, on this off-chain protocol or platform, basically there's internal transactions that can occur. So I trade Bitcoin with you, you trade basic attention token with me, and then when all of these off-chain transactions are settled, the final result is bundled up and sent back to inclusion on the formal blockchain. So instead of requiring us to process 15 intermediate transactions, we can do all our trading off-chain and then simply submit the final balances to the blockchain. Now, I have to say that different off-chain solutions will implement this in different ways, so this is more of a general explanation, and you can see this here provided by ethereum.org, in which they say basically that the transactions are processed off-chain, bundled, and then sent back to mainnet. So some examples of this would be the Loopring exchange for Ethereum-based tokens, or the Bitcoin Lightning Network. And just to drive home the advantage, you can see here that the average transaction fee, or the cheapest transaction fee right now on ETH gas station, is about 44 cents, but with the Loopring exchange, we can settle that for fractions of a cent in just a fraction of a second. So the takeaway is that off-chain transactions offer increased speed, decreased costs, and may also be referred to as side chains, off-chain, layer 2, or hybrid solution. I hope you all found the video useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
So, what is Ethereum Layer 2 scaling all about? And what is the difference between projects such as Optimism, XDAI, OMG, and Loopring? We'll answer all of these questions in this video. Before we begin, if you want to learn more about decentralized finance and the technology behind it, make sure you subscribe to my channel. You can also consider supporting us on Patreon and joining our DeFi community. Ethereum scaling has been one of the most discussed topics pretty much since the time when the network launched. The scaling debate always heats up after a period of major network.
My goal right now is to get a full 100% understanding and comprehension of exactly the entire process of a transaction on blockchain. And I am like 95% of the way there. I still have a couple questions. I need to watch like 1 or 2 more videos. But then understanding off-chain solutions, because that's what a lot of these like DeFi apps that are coming out, these new apps, Polygon and all that stuff, all of these different little things that you see on CoinMarketCap, a lot of them are providing like off-chain solutions to like scale off of like Ethereum's network and make it even better. But a lot of these off-chain solutions really are like, they make transactions faster, they can make things cheaper, they can do all this cool stuff, function as like bank accounts with savings accounts, all kinds of stuff. But I want to understand fully like the inner workings of all of it first, and then build upon it by like, okay, then how does this one do this, and how does it do it differently than the other, and all that. So starting from the bottom up. But layer 2 off-chain stuff is like the most poorly explained stuff on YouTube I've seen so far. So once I can fully understand it, I'll make some instructional videos on it. It's pretty bad. There hasn't been one video that's explained it thoroughly yet. Everybody's taking little bits and pieces, so I'm having to jump across YouTube channels and articles to figure things out.
Congestion.
To be honest.
One of the first periods like this was the 2017 crypto bull market, where infamous CryptoKitties, together with ICOs, were able to clog up the entire Ethereum network, causing a major spike in the gas fees. This year, the network congestion came back even stronger, this time caused by the popularity of DeFi and yield farming. There were periods of time when even gas fees as high as 500 plus GWei would not get your transaction verified for a while.
Is Bitcoin finally dumping? Let's take a look. Come on, bro. Get some strength up. Get your strength up. Bitcoin, let's take a look. No, I don't think so. No, Bitcoin's not dumping yet. Bitcoin's still trading sideways on this 200 EMA line, heading towards this channel here. What it could do is do a bounce and bounce off or fall out the bottom, but it's not really doing anything at this moment. I wouldn't say it's crashing or looking great. It's literally going sideways at the moment. Maybe tomorrow we'll have some more info on what its plans are. But it's trading sideways at the bottom of that channel still, so if anything, it's looking more weak than strong for sure.
When it comes to scaling Ethereum or blockchains in general, there are two major ways of doing it. Scaling the base layer itself, layer 1, or scaling the network by offloading some of the work to another layer, layer 2. Layer 1 is our standard base consensus layer, where pretty much all transactions are currently settled. The concept of layers is not an Ethereum-specific concept. Other blockchains such as Bitcoin or Zcash also use it extensively. Layer 2 is another layer built on top of Layer 1. There are a few important points here. Layer 2 doesn't require any changes in Layer 1. It can be just built on top of Layer 1 using its existing elements such as smart contracts. Layer 2 also leverages the security of Layer 1 by anchoring its state into Layer 1. Ethereum can currently process around 15 transactions per second on its base layer. Layer 2 scaling can dramatically increase the number of transactions. Depending on the solution, we are talking about processing between 2,000 and 4,000 transactions per second. How about
Hey guys,
Ethereum 2.0?
Hang on one
Wasn't that...
Give me like a quick moment for a restroom break, so I can actually watch this video and not be uncomfortable. Really gotta pee, I'll be honest. Enjoy the lo-fi. Be right back. All right, I'm back.
That's supposed to scale
Let's rewind
Ethereum.
just a tad.
Important points here, currently settled.
Part right here.
The concept of layers is not an Ethereum-specific concept. Other blockchains such as Bitcoin or Zcash also use it extensively. Layer 2 is another layer built on top of Layer 1. There are a few important points here. Layer 2 doesn't require any changes in Layer 1. It can be just built on top of Layer 1 using its existing elements such as smart contracts. Layer 2 also leverages the security of Layer 1 by anchoring its state into Layer 1. Ethereum can currently process around 15 transactions per second on its base layer. Layer 2 scaling can dramatically increase the number of transactions. Depending on the solution, we are talking about processing between 2,000 and 4,000 transactions per second. How about Ethereum 2.0? Wasn't that supposed to scale Ethereum? Yes, Ethereum 2.0.
Gilbert says, signing off 2020. Pretty sure I'll wake up tomorrow morning a little richer than today. Awesome. Good luck chasing the dream, my Doge community. Good night. Hey, man. First of all, thank you for hanging out today. You've been here for a long time, both streams. I appreciate that support. And I think you'll be waking up a little richer tomorrow as well. Tomorrow should be a great day. Looking forward to getting a stream off tomorrow and talking about where we're at. Hopefully that'll be like low 40s. That would be awesome. But yeah, man, catch you tomorrow in the next stream, hopefully. Hopefully see you there. By the way, guys, if just so that you don't get lost here, layer 2 scaling, if you're not familiar, just from what I've learned so far there's a couple key advantages. So usually with the what they call layer 1, which is just the main blockchain, right? So Bitcoin's blockchain, Ethereum's blockchain, the main network, what the cryptocurrency runs off of. Good night. Hope we see you tomorrow. Yes. Typically has restrictions on transactions, how many transactions can occur per second, and a lot of times restrictions on how many blocks can be made. Like Bitcoin, for example, I think 1 block every 10 minutes. There's a hard limit on that. Can't go any faster. And there's also like a limit of 7 transactions per second, or is that outdated? I'm not sure. But whatever the case is, that means that there is a physically set hard limit on how many transactions can be processed in a certain amount of time. So things can get bottlenecked. You can end up waiting a long time for transactions to go through. And then like on Ethereum's network, for example, when the network gets congested, they start prioritizing transactions by basically saying, all right, just think of it as like an express lane on the highway. When it's super dead, for example, and there's really no reason to take the highway, usually the express lane is going to be super cheap because they know no one's really going to drive on it. So they can incentivize you to drive on it. Hopefully you'll kind of waste some money by driving over there, pay 20 cents for no reason. When it's really busy, then everybody, they want, it's slow, it's congested, traffic is congested. You want to get from point A to point B. You want your transaction verified, but there's so many people trying to get their transactions verified. So who's going to get prioritized? Well, basically pay to play. Whoever pays the higher fee, whoever's willing to pay the higher gas fee, transaction fee, will get prioritized, and the others will have to wait. So that's kind of what the problem is becoming with Ethereum. Transaction fees are going through the roof because their network is getting so congested. And so if you want to get prioritized, you have to pay extra, or you have to wait. Or just in general, sometimes you just have to pay extra because there's a lot of traffic, high demand. Anyway, these layer 2 solutions, your analogies are great. Hey, I appreciate that. I'm trying my best. That's why I've been literally 12 hours a day watching all this stuff so I can understand it enough to break it down, because they're some of these explanations, man, are just speaking another language. So layer 2 basically allows you to bypass that. And I've got a pretty good analogy, but I'm going to save that one for when I actually make my video. And I'll let you guys hear it then. I want to perfect the analogy before I try it right now and butcher it, but I was thinking about it today. I've already been planning that video. So basically though, what it allows you to do is just think of bypassing the traffic by taking a side road, right? And consider that to be layer 2. There's a sneak peek at my analogy. Bypassing the busy highway and the express lane, which would be having to pay the high gas fees instead of waiting, by taking a side road that gets opened up, which is the layer 2 solution. Side road can take you from point A to point B, get you pretty much to where you need to go, and it can divert traffic and route way more traffic through once the main layer 1 network gets congested. So anyway, and to get away from that analogy now, layer 2 solutions, because of how they operate, can also they can just be much faster because they don't have the same limitations, the hard set limitations as the main blockchain. So for example, though, like I said, Ethereum was what, like 15 transactions per second or something, but the layer 2 solution doesn't necessarily have those hard limits. So they could be doing thousands of transactions per second, diverting traffic off of the main layer and handling those transactions through here, and then compiling them and sending kind of the final transactions back to the main blockchain just to be finally secured. Another good explanation I heard for some layer 2 solutions is that, think of it like when you go to a bar and you open up a tab. Like if you go to a bar and you know you're about to make multiple transactions, one option would be to keep going up to the register each time you're going to get a new drink and paying each time, doing another transaction, wasting that time. Or you can open up a tab and just say, all right, for the next so-and-so amount of time, I'm going to be transacting, I'm going to be getting more stuff. So just wait, open now, log everything over time, but don't submit until the end. Then submit that as one bill, and that's what I'll pay. So that's kind of the difference with layer 2 transactions. It's kind of like, just think of it as like the ability to kind of have a tab. So like it said here, it'll handle all of the multiple transactions versus filing each one individually on layer 1. You can like group transactions together on layer 2 and then just send the final result back to layer 1 to help keep the network from getting congested as well. So kind of having this side chain here, handling more transactions and compiling transactions before it gets back to layer 1, not only helps you save money with lower transaction fees and with faster results on your end, but then it also helps to keep the layer 1 network less congested. So that's why we're seeing, hopefully that was a decent explanation, that's why we're seeing Ethereum having all this potential, because Ethereum with smart contracts, which is basically just allowing these apps to exist on the network, right? Because smart contract is really just a smart code, the ability to build out these like smart apps on the blockchain. That's all that is. That's really all that means. So with Ethereum's support for these smart contracts and this easy to use programming language to create these kind of applications that can do all this stuff, Ethereum has developed into this network that just has a lot of value, because all of these DeFi apps are doing this layer 2 stuff and all of this neat additional stuff, trying to free up the network and allow you to do all these different things that on other networks you just can't do. So that's why Ethereum is becoming so popular. Then with Ethereum 2.0, it kind of takes it a step further, which is another topic. But anyway, I'm just trying to learn more about layer 2, because like I said, I'm pretty much all the way there as far as understanding it, but I still have some questions, so that's why I'm still watching these videos. Hopefully you're learning something from them too.
Layer 2. Layer 1 is our standard base consensus layer, where pretty much all transactions are currently settled. The concept of layers is not an Ethereum-specific concept. Other blockchains such as Bitcoin or Zcash also use it extensively. Layer 2 is another layer built on top of Layer 1. There are a few important points here. Layer 2 doesn't require any changes in Layer 1. It can be just built on top of Layer 1 using its existing elements such as smart contracts. Layer 2 also leverages the security of Layer 1 by anchoring its state into Layer 1. Ethereum can currently process around 15 transactions per second on its base layer. Layer 2 scaling can dramatically increase the number of transactions. Depending on the solution, we are talking about processing between 2,000 and 4,000 transactions per second. How about Ethereum 2.0? Wasn't that supposed to scale Ethereum? Yes, Ethereum 2.0 introduces proof of stake and sharding that will dramatically increase the transaction throughput on the base layer. Does it mean we don't need Layer 2 scaling when Ethereum 2.0 ships? Not really. Even with sharding, Ethereum will still need Layer 2 scaling to be able to handle hundreds of thousands or even millions of transactions per second in the future. This is also where the famous scalability trilemma comes into play. In theory, we could just skip Layer 2 entirely and focus on scaling the base layer instead. This would require highly specialized nodes to handle the increased workload, which would lead to higher centralization and therefore lowering security and censorship-resistant properties of the network. Sticking to the fact that scalability should never come at the expense of security and decentralization, we are left with a combination of Layer 1 and Layer 2 scaling going forward into the future. Layer 2 scaling is a collective term for solutions that help with increasing the capabilities of Layer 1 by handling transactions off-chain. The two main capabilities that can be improved are transaction speed and transaction throughput. On top of that, Layer 2 solutions can greatly reduce the gas fees. When it comes to actual scaling solutions, there are multiple options available. Whilst some of the options are available right now and can increase Ethereum network throughput in the near to medium term, others are aiming for a medium to long-term time horizon. Some of the scaling solutions are application-specific, for example, payment channels. Others, such as optimistic rollups, can be used for any arbitrary contract executions. To understand these differences better, let's explore the most popular Layer 2 scaling solutions. Before we jump into the examples, if you made it this far and you enjoyed the video, hit the like button so this kind of content can reach a wider audience. Channels are one of the first widely discussed scaling solutions. They allow participants to exchange their transactions off-chain a number of times while only submitting 2 transactions to the base layer. The most popular types of channels are state channels and their subtype, payment channels. Although channels have the potential to easily process thousands of transactions per second, they come with a few downsides. They don't offer open participation. Participants have to be known upfront, and users have to lock up their funds in a multi-sig contract. On top of that, this scaling solution is application-specific and cannot be used to scale general-purpose smart contracts. The main project that leverages the power of state channels on Ethereum is Raiden. The concept of payment channels is also extensively used by Bitcoin's Lightning Network. Plasma is a Layer 2 scaling solution that was originally proposed.
See, he'll say stuff like that and not explain really what it means. And that just means you have to go down a whole nother rabbit hole of research to figure out like what the heck he just said meant. That's kind of the point I'm at. Like, I'm understanding now the fundamentals, then he'll throw out all these things like the open channels and all that stuff, but not explain what that means. So then I have to go find another video and be like, okay, what is it? Open channels? What is the downsides that he was just talking about? And then, oh, like the Lightning Network and Radon. Okay, what is the Lightning Network? What is Radon? It's just never ending. But, I mean, learned a lot, so.
By Joseph Poon and Vitalik Buterin. It's a framework for building scalable applications on Ethereum. Plasma leverages the use of smart contracts and Merkle trees to enable the creation of an unlimited number of child chains, copies of the parent Ethereum blockchain. Offloading transactions from the main chain into child chains allows for fast and cheap transactions. One of the drawbacks of Plasma is a long waiting period for users who want to withdraw their funds from Layer 2. Plasma, similarly to channels, cannot be used to scale general-purpose smart contracts. The OMG network is built on their own implementation of Plasma, called More Viable Plasma. Matic Network is another example of a platform using an adapted version of the Plasma framework. Sidechains are Ethereum-compatible independent blockchains.
Notice he just mentioned Matic. Matic is Polygon, right? And that's one of the other cryptocurrencies that has been climbing up the CoinMarket.com list. And he just hinted towards why that particular cryptocurrency is having value, because it's taking advantage of this new layer 2 technology called Plasma to do some additional stuff on the Ethereum blockchain as a layer 2 solution. So when you see Polygon on the thing, you're like, oh, Polygon Matic, that coin looks like it's doing really good. And you're like, oh, it must be a Doge competitor. But you start to find out like what these things actually do. And then you can start to have an actual understanding of maybe what coins longer term will actually be worth something and will probably stick versus which ones won't. And that will help just give us a better, like a better leg up going forward. So we're not just doing technical analysis, but we actually like know what we're actually investing in longer term as well. So just a little extra insight. A lot of research for a little bit of a like a head start, I guess you could say, compared to other people that don't really know what the things do.
Sidechains are Ethereum-compatible independent blockchains with their own consensus models and block parameters. Interoperability with Ethereum is made possible by using the same Ethereum virtual machine, so contracts deployed to the Ethereum base layer can be directly deployed to the sidechain. XDAI is one example of such a sidechain. Rollups provide scaling by bundling or rolling up sidechain transactions into a single transaction and generating a cryptographic proof, also known as a SNARK, succinct, non-interactive argument of knowledge. Only this proof is submitted to the base layer. With rollups, all transaction state and execution are handled in sidechains. The main Ethereum chain only stores transaction data. There are two types of rollups: ZK rollups and optimistic rollups. ZK rollups, although faster and more efficient than optimistic rollups, do not provide an easy way for the existing smart contracts to migrate to Layer 2. Optimistic rollups run an EVM-compatible virtual machine called OVM, Optimistic Virtual Machine, which allows for executing the same smart contracts as can be executed on Ethereum. This is really important, as it makes it easier for the existing smart contracts to maintain their composability, which is extremely relevant in DeFi, where all major smart contracts were already battle-tested. One of the main projects working on optimistic rollups is Optimism, which is getting closer and closer to their mainnet launch. When it comes to ZK rollups, Loopring and Diversify are good examples of decentralized exchanges built on Layer 2. On top of that, we have ZK Sync enabling scalable crypto payments. Rollups' scalability can also be magnified by Ethereum 2.0. In fact, because rollups only need the data layer to be scaled, they can get a tremendous boost already in Ethereum 2.0 Phase 1, which is about the sharding of data. Despite a spectrum of Layer 2 scaling solutions available, it looks like the Ethereum community is converging on the approach of mainly scaling through rollups and Ethereum 2.0 Phase 1 data sharding. This approach was also confirmed in a recent post by Vitalik Buterin called A Rollup-Centric Ethereum Roadmap that I will link in the description box below. In our future videos, we'll explore the base layer scaling with Ethereum 2.0 and how both Layer 1 and Layer 2 scaling can help with making decentralized finance more accessible to everyone. Stay tuned by subscribing to the channel. So, what do you think about Ethereum's approach to scaling? And which scaling solution would you like to learn more about? Comment down below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, and check out Finematics on Patreon to join our DeFi community. Thanks for watching. So, what is the long-awaited Ethereum 2.0 all about? What is proof of stake? The
Good luck understanding this one.
beacon chain, sharding, and docking. And what are the different phases of the rollouts? You'll find answers to these questions in this video. Before we begin, if you want to learn more about decentralized finance and the technology behind it, make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon, and enable all notifications. You can also consider supporting us on Patreon and joining our community of DeFi enthusiasts. Let's start with an overview of what Ethereum 2.0 is and why it's even needed in the first place. Ethereum 2.0, aka ETH2, is a set of interconnected upgrades to the Ethereum network that aims at making Ethereum more scalable, more secure, and more sustainable. These changes are worked on by multiple different teams in the Ethereum ecosystem, each team focusing on building a specific part of the whole upgrade. Now, let's quickly go through all of the main goals of ETH2. Scalability.
Alright, Envu, appreciate you hanging out. Just watching a lot of technical stuff anyway, nothing too crazy is going on. Appreciate you hanging out, man. Catch you in the stream tomorrow, unless you happen to come back while I'm still streaming, which is unlikely. So, have a good night, or morning over there.
The current Ethereum network supports around 15 transactions per second. This becomes a limiting factor when it comes to onboarding millions of new users and launching many more decentralized applications. To make Ethereum more scalable, ETH2 aims at supporting thousands of transactions per second. One important caveat: the increase in transactions per second should not come at the cost of increasing the size of the nodes in the network. Security. Security of a decentralized network is always one of the top priorities. ETH2 aims at increasing the security of the network against all forms of attack, including a 51% attack, where someone can force through fraudulent changes by controlling the majority of the network. Sustainability. The well-known
Real quick, what he just said about a 51% attack. Figured out yesterday kind of what that means. So, do I even want to explain it? I don't know if I do. Maybe not. Maybe I will. So, for example, with the typical blockchain, you get power in the network by being literally the most powerful computing power-wise. So, you'll see a lot of these companies, like there's mining companies that exist now, where all they do is buy like a whole bunch of mining rigs, and it's like a war between who can have the most computing power, because whoever has the most computing power will tend to be the one who can create the blocks and who will get those block rewards for the blockchain, because whoever really creates the block first, and it takes computing power to beat everybody else. So if you can be the first one to complete creating a block, you get that advantage, you get the money. So, but at the same time, well, actually, you know what? I'm not going to keep explaining that unless someone asks. Forget it.
proof of work based consensus model used by the current Ethereum network requires a lot of computing power and energy. ETH2 aims at making Ethereum better for the environment by replacing energy-intensive proof of work with proof of stake. Initially, the set of changes needed to achieve these goals was called Serenity, but now most people refer to it as Ethereum 2.0 or just ETH2. What is interesting is that all of these goals were pretty much always in the Ethereum roadmap, and they had been discussed even before the network officially launched. Let's start with one of the biggest changes, the consensus model shift from proof of work to proof of stake. The current Ethereum consensus model, proof of work, is a well-known and battle-tested approach to building cryptocurrencies. In proof of work, miners invest their resources, mainly electricity, to validate transactions and secure the network. This model requires massive amounts of energy to work properly and protect the network from 51% attacks. Proof of stake tries to address the power consumption concerns by getting rid of the miners completely. Instead of machines securing the network by investing their resources, the proof of stake consensus model relies on economic incentives. In proof of stake, users who want to secure the network stake their ETH and become validators. Each validator is incentivized to validate transactions by receiving, similarly to miners in proof of work, both the block reward and the transaction fees. To discourage validators from trying to game the system and validate fraudulent transactions, the proof of stake system implements a mechanism called slashing, where validators lose part of their staked ETH if they decide to act dishonestly. In order to pull off a successful 51% attack in a proof of stake system, the attacker would have to control 51% of the validators, which would require owning 51% of all staked ETH, a massive amount of capital. In order to become one of the ETH2 validators, 32 ETH is required. It is also possible to stake with less than 32 ETH by using staking pools, for example, Rocket Pool. The returns for validators depend on the amount of staked ETH in the system. They can be as high as over 18% annually if there is less than 1 million ETH staked, and as low as 1.81% or even lower if there is more than 100 million ETH in the system. Proof of stake addresses all three of the ETH2 goals. It makes Ethereum more sustainable by removing energy-intensive miners. It makes it more secure by making a 51% attack harder, and it makes it more scalable by unlocking sharding that would be much harder to achieve in a proof-of-work model, as it would most likely result in diluting the amount of computing power across multiple shards. This is actually a good segue into sharding. The concept of sharding is not specific to the ETH2 upgrade. It's actually a common process in computer science that allows for splitting a database into multiple instances, each containing a portion of the whole dataset. Each instance would be known as a shard. When it comes to ETH2, each shard is basically a separate new chain. Initially, there will be 64 of them. This directly addresses Ethereum's scalability concerns, as shards will allow for spreading the network's load. On top of that, each Ethereum node will only have to run one of the shards. This means storing only a small subset of data and making it easier to run a node without having powerful hardware. Making nodes easier to run should result in more network participants, which equals more decentralization and more security. Initially, sharding will just provide extra data. Sharded chains won't be able to handle transactions or smart contracts. At this point, you're probably asking the question, so how can sharding improve scalability without handling transactions or smart contracts? Improving scalability will be possible because of layer 2 scaling, in particular rollups. Rollups allow for bundling transactions off-chain, generating a cryptographic proof and submitting it to the chain. This process only requires a data shard to be available to store the proof, which means it can be used with the initial version of sharding. You can learn more about layer 2 scaling and rollups here. This is not the end, although the mix of data sharding and rollups should result in Ethereum being able to process over 100,000 transactions per second. There is also another improvement that can be made. There is a possibility to upgrade shards to make them fully executable in the...
It's probably the last video for tonight. Then we'll just double check on the price and then I'll probably head out. Because it's getting late. I didn't realize it was 2 a.m. my time. I do have to work in the morning, so...
Same way as the current Ethereum chain. It remains to be seen if this improvement will be needed or not, depending on how popular the data sharding and rollup solution becomes. It's also important to mention that in the data sharding model, the current Ethereum chain becomes one of the shards, and this is the only shard that is able to handle transactions and smart contracts. The beacon chain is the next important concept to grasp to fully understand the ETH2 upgrade. But before that, if you made it this far and you enjoyed the video, hit the like button so this kind of content can reach a wider audience. The beacon chain is responsible for coordinating a proof-of-stake based system by randomly assigning stakers to validate different shards. Randomness is important as it prevents stakers from colluding and taking over a shard. The beacon chain basically creates a new proof-of-stake network that runs in parallel to the current Ethereum chain. Launching it is one of the first things in the ETH2 roadmap. Initially, validators will be adding new blocks to the beacon chain, but they won't be validating the current Ethereum mainnet transactions. This will be possible once the current chain becomes one of the ETH2 shards. This brings us to the last piece of the whole ETH2 puzzle, docking. Docking is a process in which the current Ethereum chain becomes one of the shards in the ETH2 proof-of-stake system. This process will also mark the end of proof-of-work Ethereum that we know today and the full transition to the new proof-of-stake model. Docking will bring the ability to run smart contracts into the proof-of-stake system. On top of that, it will provide the full history and the current state of Ethereum, allowing a smooth transition for all of the ETH holders and users. Let's see how all the concepts that we just discussed fit into the ETH2 timeline. The whole development process is split into multiple phases. Phase 0 is the first phase of shipping ETH2 that focuses on launching the beacon chain. To achieve this, a threshold of 16,384 validators has to be reached. The required amount of validators was reached on the 24th of November, which allows Phase 0 to be launched on the earliest possible date, the 1st of December 2020. The next phase, Phase 1, focuses on sharding, or to be specific, data sharding that we described earlier. Once Phase 1 is established, next up is Phase 1.5 that focuses on docking, making the current Ethereum chain one of the shards in ETH2. It looks like both Phase 1 and Phase 1.5 will be delivered as early as 2021. After Phase 1.5 is reached, there are two possible scenarios. Either the combination of data sharding and rollups will be enough and there is no need for further phases, or maybe there will still be a need for the full sharding solution, which would bring us to the final phase, Phase 2. This will remain to be seen after Phase 1.5 is successfully completed. It's also worth mentioning that even though the initial Phase 0 doesn't change much when it comes to the current Ethereum chain, it may still have some potentially significant economic implications. This is because the ETH that is being sent to ETH2 validators becomes locked and cannot be withdrawn until Phase 1.5 is complete, which means less circulating ETH in the current system. When it comes to DeFi, it looks like most activities will be concentrated on either the executable shard or one of the layer 2 rollup solutions, at least initially. This is because DeFi takes huge advantage of smart contract composability and more complex transactions, so having different DeFi protocols that cannot communicate with each other easily doesn't make much sense. So what do you think about ETH2? Do you think it will eventually make other smart contract blockchains, aka the Ethereum killers, irrelevant? Comment down below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, and check out Finematics on Patreon to join our DeFi community. Thanks for watching.
Oh my god. Well, I've got a headache. That's gonna wrap up today's video watching. And I'm gonna save this to watch later because I don't understand what I just heard. So I'm gonna have to watch it 1 or 2 more times. That's what's been happening. I've been watching a lot of these videos 2 to 3 times, and then I'm like, oh, you know, it's like a foreign language. All these new terms, you have to understand the concepts. So, but it's good stuff. On the Doge side, just as we're wrapping up, let's actually look at Bitcoin as well. Not even sure who's really still here, but could be talking to myself. But we've got 6 people here, so. On the Bitcoin side, it's still ranging in the channel. It was showing some signs of weakness here. It's just completely trading sideways, then went down a bit. Still completely trading sideways, but hugging the 200 EMA line. At this point, we're seeing it, instead of coming directly to the upward trend line, it's now trying to pull up a little bit. So, doesn't really mean anything significant. I mean, the move is, $1,000 on Bitcoin, which is really nothing. That's typical fluctuation, somewhere around $1,000 to $2,000. So this doesn't particularly mean anything. Same exact moves as what's been happening. Really nothing to evaluate on the Bitcoin side here. It is due for a move up. Since it's on the bottom side of this, it needs to start heading up, and we're just not seeing it be very anxious to do that yet. So if anything, still somewhat bearish, but it's not looking extremely weak, like it just wants to fall to the floor. So that's good news for the market. We'll see what happens tomorrow. On the Dogecoin side, Doge is still looking strong. Doge is doing exactly what I mentioned earlier that Doge should be doing today. A lot of people looking for opportunities to sell and take profit. People that did not have these opportunities to do so before, because Doge has been trading sideways, not giving really scalpers anything to scalp, unfortunately, if they were just trying to scalp the crypto market. So today, off each one of these moves, plenty of sell-off, but then plenty of recovery. Why? Because there's plenty of people trying to take profit, but there's also plenty of people that are actually interested in the announcement that was made. So even though we do sell off hard after big moves, we then make a bigger move, and then we sell off hard, and then we make a bigger move. So that's a good sign. Just got to look at it the right way. Hi, Mariano. This is Invu's girlfriend. He told me to watch your stream. I don't know why. Hey, well, thank you. I appreciate you for hanging out. Welcome, Sloom. Yeah, Invu's here pretty much every day in the live streams. He told me that he had to run a class, but he just left a little bit ago. And yeah, we just talk about like crypto here and trading stocks. Might not be something you're into, but welcome. He sent you my way, so welcome. Glad to have you. Just about to close down the stream though, so feel free to subscribe. Notification bell, select all, catch the next live stream if this is at all what you're into. This is his second account? Oh, okay. Nice. Very cool. Well, nice to meet you, Invu's girlfriend. And Doge, yeah, it keeps, we're getting these big moves up, big sell-offs after. All these people that have been dying to take profit are just taking advantage of every opportunity, as you can see. Big moves, big sell-offs, but we keep recovering. that means that we have more bullish momentum, more buyers than sellers. And that is good news as we go into tomorrow, because we're already kind of ending the night at about 38 cents here, really close to the 40 mark, which means we might wake up tomorrow to Doge 41 cents or something like that. It's very, very possible that overnight we end up messing around with the 40-cent level and getting that struggle out of the way. If that does happen, if we end up waking up to 40 cents tomorrow, we could see runs up to mid 40s tomorrow. Sounds like I'm giving a forecast. We could see highs of mid 40s tomorrow with the chance of a dip. Yeah, and maybe even about 50 cents. We'll see. I don't think we go up that high, but you never really know. I just heard a weird sound. Hey, Sloom just subscribed. Thank you so much for your sub. I appreciate that support. But yeah, I predict probably tomorrow morning we'll be at least near 40 cents. If we do wake up and it's 40 cents or higher already, and we've already broken that barrier, then sometime tomorrow we'll end up mid 40s, maybe even close to 40, to 50. I doubt we break 50 cents tomorrow, though. That would take a lot. But we'll see. I'm excited. We're finally getting some momentum here, and it looks like we want to move up, and it's been a long time coming. So hopefully everyone's bought their dips. They know where they're at. They know what their plan is. If you don't know what your plan is, obviously, you know what I'm going to say. Get that plan together for whatever happens. If the price goes down, have a plan. If you want to cut, buy a dip, start predicting where those are going to be. Sarah. Nice to meet you, Sarah. I'll keep that in mind. So your name's Sarah, Envu's girlfriend. Cool. I'll remember that. And then also have a plan for if it goes up. If the price goes up, where do you want to take profit? Or are you just going to try and hold and wait and hope it goes to like 60 cents or something, which is a little unlikely. But I'm not here to tell you what your plan should be. I'm here to just make sure everybody is formulating a plan and executing that plan and making money at the end of the day, however you want to do it. I'll give suggestions, but I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. But yeah, tomorrow we should be 40s. That seems pretty clear. So looking good, boys and girls and Sarahs. All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap up this stream. It is now 2 a.m. my time. I'm going to try to get some sleep for work tomorrow, and so that I can be alive enough to give you guys a decent live stream tomorrow as well. If you need anything, you know where to find me. Link in the description for all my links. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, pretty much anywhere else. And also, if you're in the Discord group, I will catch you there right after this stream ends. It won't show me saying I sent link to Discord. It's right here. Oh, yeah, he sent me that earlier. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Sarah, Envu, Kelp, Trill, Mickey, everybody, Skydive, wherever you are. I think you left earlier. Gilbert, Chad, Stankist, Jared, with all the hype. Appreciate that support. Joshua, and Preezy. Who else? Michael. I think that's everybody. Thank you guys for hanging out tonight. I'll catch you guys tomorrow in the next live stream.